What are you doing? It's 2022. This is your CES edition of the Giant Bombcast.
Oh, shit.
Did Bakalar make it?
Yeah, live from Las Vegas, Jeff Bakalar is here.
Okay, good.
Hey,
What's
can
the
you hear
scene?
me?
Oh, yeah, yes. What's the scene? Yes, what's the scene like? Jeff Gerstmann here, host of the Giant Bombcast. What's Jeff Bakalar in the field? What is the vibe in Las Vegas? Tell me about the future of electronics.
So you can hear me? Is that true?
Yeah, and I can hear.
It's coming through loud and clear, buddy.
It's coming through great.
It's pretty empty here. I will not lie. This is a very unattended show. The refrigerators are here. They did make it.
Great. Are they
And
good?
now they are all about the NFT game.
Oh, no.
Refrigerators and NFTs. That is what's
finally.
happening here at Las Vegas CES 2022. I'm Jeff Bakalar. Thank you for
All right.
tuning in.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. That's our man in the field, Jeff Bakalar, for the future of technology.
Wow.
Whatever these NFTs are, I don't know, but
It's your
probably need-
food. It's your unique food.
Okay, all right,
No one else can have that food. Once you eat it, it's gone.
Wait, why would? Okay,
thought-
And
If I
anyone
get
who
food when I
owned
eat
it
it, it's
before
still-
you ate it
would be
will
cooler
benefit
technology.
from the
If-
nutritional value of it.
I'm sorry, I got logged out of everything just a second ago, and now I'm over here doing two-factor stuff because that's how the fucking year gets going.
Yep.
If you're just joining us for the first time, you're just like, hey, it's January, we're gonna try out some new podcasts. People do that.
Yeah. They go,
Is that
they
a
read
thing
books.
people do?
Yeah.
Are
Sign
we
up for the
people's
gym.
resolutions? Is that
Listen
what it
to a
is?
podcast.
This is the Giant Bombcast. We've been doing this for, I'm looking at a calendar here, a very long time. It's 2022 now.
22. I'm gonna quit vaping and start listening to the Bombcast. That's my resolution.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
like
that's
that. I like that.
probably, or like, you know, maybe this is a good is this a good supplemental podcast for people that do vape?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's just like
Sure.
are they vaping and listening to this and going like, like I don't know, is that a noise people make when they?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
They pucker up.
Do this
They kiss 'em.
instead of vaping. 9 out of 10 doctors agree. Prescribe
Like
Giant
what?
Bomb.
Or just while you're, I mean, I don't, double up. This is
My
like this
doctor,
show is it's like nicotine for your ass. I don't know what we need like
And
a good
ears.
for you. Okay, it's like nicotine for your ears. We need a good new slogan because like the thing when you go look at the what is it? It's like I'd forget. It's something that we probably wrote in like 2008 or 9, and it just feels like someone punched in some placeholder text that then has been sitting there forever. But it's just like, yeah, it gets wildly off topic in this video game podcast. And it's just like the stupidest shit, and it's been there forever. So we need like a good punchy show description,
Ooh, that'd be nice.
like a.
How do we get one of those?
Take no shit.
It's time.
2022.
Ho.
Like, you know.
Like let's punctuate with ho, right? But not HOE,
Okay.
but like HO. And then
Okay, like a
Okay.
Jack Frost
What?
situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
It's nicotine
okay.
for your ears, ho.
It's nicotine
Oh,
for
well,
your ears, ho.
TM.
Okay. All right. We'll run that past legal and see.
I don't think it's a legal matter. I feel like,
Can I sign
That's
off
a
emails
moral
by saying
obligation.
yeah,
Ho?
that's what
Okay.
it sounds like.
right? Like instead of cheers or regards or thanks, ho.
No,
No?
I mean, is that
ho, comma.
I've been doing that since I
Ho?
got
Okay.
here, so I haven't heard anybody complain.
you've been ending everything with ho?
Yeah, in my emails, my business emails.
Oh,
Oh, that's fine.
like instead of people who do best, you just go ho.
Yeah.
With an
Yeah,
No
that's like,
exclamation
it's,
mark.
you know,
No one's brought
it's
it
like
up, so
for the Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right,
then
it's
once
the
Christmas is
same.
over, you might get a couple of questions, but then you just have to explain, like, well, okay, Jack All right, Jack Frost, the character from one of the demons from the Shin Megami Tensei universe, and he is a lovable little guy. And then at the end of every sentence, he says "ho," and because he's like a snow guy, so it's like a hee-ho kind of
Hee-ho,
yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I say hee-ho for the more the business emails that are also like, hey, I'm kind of like not super formal. I got a little hee-ho in here.
Oh, it's like a shoveling thing. Heave ho. So the CNET pulled out of CES. I found out. No, they didn't go.
Yeah,
I pulled those monitors for them for nothing.
For nothing,
damn it.
man. For nothing. This is your month, maybe, but it's not. It's not going to be a thankful month, I guess, buddy. Yeah, they pulled out. They're not going. I don't know. What is it now? Is it going on now?
I just know
forget
that all
about
of
it every year.
Like there are a bunch of streams and announcements hit today from like AMD and Nvidia and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So
you know what?
If it's not happening today is like keynote day or whatever.
Yeah, this is like you're right. This is like press conference day. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know what the actual situation is because like whatever it's CES, but like is there? Do you know? Is there a physical show? Is it?
I don't know. I think there's people there. I think there's people in Vegas, probably people who live in Vegas and in LA who can get there without really caring. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, I just remember back to 2020 CES when there was the word going around the office in like March or so it was like, yeah, one of the CNET people who went to CES got super sick and they didn't know what it was at the time, but now that we're thinking about it,
well, look, to be fair, I had gone to before the pandemic, I had gone to roughly 13 CESs.
Yeah,
and I'd say 80% of them I came home sick.
Oh, totally. It's a January conference. It's like it's
totally. It's the goddamn desert. It's drier than anything you could ever imagine.
Was it cold?
It's cold at night because that's what happens at the deserts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, E3 too. I would always get sick at E3 as well.
Yeah.
PAX.
All the kissing, all the open mouth kissing. That's what it is.
Well, you got to stop doing that.
I know.
Why go?
Well, you're right.
The industry.
No, exactly.
Yeah. That's this business. You
Certain
kiss on the lips and then
expectations.
say, tell me about your refrigerators. Can this refrigerator shred paper? Yes or no? Because LG up the street, they're saying life's good, motherfucker. Shred this paper in your fridge. And if you're not matching that, I don't know what we're doing.
Do you want a TV in your fridge?
Kind of.
Like that. See,
kind of.
5 years ago, I was dragged on this network for saying, hey, maybe it might be cool to have a TV in a fridge. People roasted me, dragged me over the hot coals, saying, you're a fucking fool, Bakalar. You're an idiot with a microphone. And
well, who's laughing now?
Who's laughing now?
Microphones.
Yeah.
Who's laughing now? Now, guess what? Turns out it's easier to see what's inside your refrigerator, not by opening it up, but by hitting a button on front so that the camera inside your refrigerator and the light inside turn on.
Yes.
And you can see what's in your refrigerator. And you can also log in from like the grocery store, which is probably the more useful application of that.
I would think that the value of a touch screen on a fridge would be so you could tap a thing that says, there's no fucking milk in here. Somebody needs to get more of it, and I don't think it might be me, but yeah.
And you want that written in Comic Sans and have a couple fucking balloons around it or whatever.
Well, no, I want it on an app that then goes to my phone, so that then when I'm at the store, I can look at it and go, "Oh, right,
you forgot the milk.
I didn't get milk again." Like that seems like the value. I feel like that's a concept that gets less cool every year, though. The fridge on the TV. That's something that like 20 years ago you'd have been like, that's like the Jetsons, and now you're just like, yeah, it's like a gas pump.
Right.
It's probably going to show me as many ads as a gas pump does. So
you got to pay more. You got to pay the premium to not have ads on your fridge TV.
It'll probably like if you don't pay a subscription, it'll stop the functionality of the camera, and it'll
I feel like Amazon did that
open
with
the fridge
the
door
Kindle, right?
now.
Yeah. Yes, the Amazon Kindle was definitely like the pay us more if you don't want ads on it, or buy the cheap one and figure out a way to root it or whatever.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's real. I mean, at least that's I mean, that's, whatever. Like we are selling an ad-free experience. Like that's not entirely out of line in a sense. I just feel like when it comes to tech, like they are. I mean, we're like a fridge.
What if we were
it's like a fridge for your ears.
Oh.
How about that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Ho.
I like
Yeah.
Ho. It's like a fridge for your ears, ho.
I like it. I like it.
Make T-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. We need more designs. So it's
Scarves.
been, I don't know. So new year, new me. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Except for the second part, I guess. I don't know. That's,
No, New Year. Go. Had a physical over the break.
how'd that go?
Nice.
He told
Did
me.
he say you were all new?
He said, "Congrats, you have the body of a 58-year-old." I was like, "Nah." He's told me to. He asked me if I smoke weed. I said, "Not anymore." He's like, "Do you vape weed?" And I go, "Not really." He goes, "Don't vape weed." He looked at me. He got so close to me. We were nose to nose. He goes, "Only eat weed." I was like, "All right,
Okay.
you're
You
the
got
doctor,
COVID
doctor."
from some
Step
doctor
ahead of you,
getting that
buddy.
close to you.
Yeah, right. Already ahead of you 2 hours ago. No, so it was cool to get a doctor endorsing edibles in a big way. He's
Well,
like,
you're not going to get popcorn
this
lung
fucking
from it.
pandemic. It's
true.
fucking pandemic.
You might
Eat
just
'em
get
if
a
you
bucket
got
of
'em.
popcorn, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we my boy had to get his first shots, so we took him in, and my wife took him in. Honestly, we were what was I doing? I guess that was technically we were streaming or something that day, or recording something. But yeah, that all happened, and he bounced back from it pretty quick.
Yeah, good.
My daughter, her first shots, she was like throwing up that night.
Oh my
and
God.
stuff, and it was
Really?
like Tylenol for a day and a half, and all this other
Jeez.
stuff. But he was just like, "This sucks, but it's okay." I went and got my booster. I went and got some shots myself, and
Attaboy.
felt like shit for a day, but whatever.
It's good.
Yeah,
Taking.
it was good shit.
The booster's taking.
That means it's working.
Yeah, I was like, get it in there. Get it. I'm like shaking, like get it into my feet, get it into my bones.
Fill
It
all
goes
the
in your arm. You
crevices.
just slap it.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. Like,
travel,
make sure
go,
it
do your
works.
thing.
Get in there.
Get in there, come on.
I'm trying to reconvince my mom to get boosted and re-upped on her vaxes and stuff like that, because it was a whole thing.
Well,
to convince
she
her in
got the
first
2
place.
already, right?
She got the one. She got the Johnson & Johnson.
Oh,
right?
she might have to take a full dose of Moderna.
Yeah, she might have to
or
take a whole
Pfizer.
nother thing and also boosters and stuff like that. But it was such a pain in the fucking ass.
That is a tough sell for the vaccine resistant, right? Like when you got to say like, "Yo, listen,
Do it again.
here's what you really should have done."
Yeah. So it was a whole situation to even get her vaccinated in the first place, which is bizarre. She used to be a dental hygienist. She's not like anti-science, anti-vax, or any of that stuff.
Pro
but
Novocaine, anti Moderna.
she's mad sus about this vaccine, and I do not know why. She's not on Facebook. She doesn't really watch Fox News. I don't know where it came from, but I managed to, wear her down enough that she got the Johnson & Johnson. I was like, sweet, we broke that dam. Flood is out. She's pro-vax now. And now I find out that it's like, hey, Omicron's getting pretty serious in New York right now. Are you going to get boosted or what? And she's like, I think we'll be fine. I'm just like, fuck. I'm back to square one.
Do you?
Oh, I was like, why not? You already got the 5G in you. What's a little more? I don't know why you even
5G.
Top up.
right?
up.
Come
Why
on.
not? So, now it's like it feels like I'm back to square one. Sorry to bitch about that.
It's a
but
bummer. I'm
Peop-
sorry.
The conspiracy people have to stop associating 5G with the vaccines, because in reality 5G doesn't work. Okay,
Right,
That's
yeah,
the true story here. Okay, the vaccines work. 5G
We're
does
in
not.
no danger.
Okay, 5G does not work. It is a broken technology that you
You're
need to be
5 feet
humping
away
an
from the
antenna bay.
tower. 5G is
Yeah.
outstanding, but
It's just like
yeah, I don't even know what her hesitance is. But I figured I already busted her up enough to get the first one, but now it's like, no, I gotta break down her defenses again to guilt her to get the boosters. It's just like, for fuck's sake, I thought we were done
let's
with
do
this.
a Zoom intervention.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'll
You
call
want to do
her.
a Zoomvention? A
Give her a
Zoomvention?
VMix link.
She just-
Yeah.
be like,
She'll-
we're here
she'll
to talk
maybe
about the
she'll change
vaccines,
the-
ho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I we didn't have to do any serious arm twisting, but it's one of those cases where having kids gets you pretty far down that road in terms of like, well, I guess you're not going to see these fucking kids.
Yeah, right.
So
I just got to pop out
dangle
maybe
'em.
too. No problem. I'll get right on it.
yes, yeah, sure.
Easy enough.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm proud of my in-laws because they are Fox News watching. There's a little bit of conspiracy, believing in them, but they have no problem taking the shots. No problem whatsoever.
Okay.
They're like all
Yeah.
about it. They're like, give it to me as soon as possible.
I know
want
those
it.
people too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I eventually,
people like that.
wore down my mom and she got it, but I think it was not because I was like, please, I'm worried, I love you, you're hurting me by doing that. Like, I was really pouring it on, like, please fucking do this for me, if not for you, like all that stuff. I think she got it because she wanted to go to a fucking Hugh Jackman concert, and they wouldn't let anyone unvaccinated go to the Hugh Jackman concert, and that's why.
Can you blame her? It's Hugh Jackman,
He's very
Yeah.
talented.
the music
but
man,
I
the
thought she loved me
greatest
more than-
showman.
More than
yeah.
him,
When I
but
think
don't know.
music, I think two words: Hugh Jackman.
Ho.
Hugh Jackman.
Ho. That's three words.
Oh, 3 words might be.
But it's just like, okay, I see who you love more. Hugh Jackman.
The man can dance and sing.
And
Yeah.
sing. And he's handsome.
And
How
steal
many,
my
does he
heart.
sing a lot of songs about Wolverine? Does I feel like half that
should.
show is just
Oh,
him just singing about.
why has
Yeah.
there not been a Wolverine the musical with Hugh
Because
Jackman
Spider-Man
in
the
it?
musical, Turn Off the Dark.
Yeah,
Flopped
that really
so bad.
salted
no,
the earth
we
on
could
that.
do it again. We just got every Spider-Man is always the thing that fails once and everybody goes, never mind. Like, the Sam Raimi ones are just like, they're fine. No, we don't like those. And then they got to do it again later. I think now it's time. Do it again, but with Wolverine. Have Hugh Jackman. Bonanza. It'll be great. Do it.
Or let's have Hugh Jackman star in a reboot of Bonanza. Put him on the Wild West. That man can do anything, as far as I'm concerned. Well, gosh. So I'm trying to, it's this. Obviously, there were some games. Oh, there's some housekeeping, I guess, a little bit here. Danny O'Dwyer is going to be on a bit of a hiatus for a little bit here. He posted on Twitter a little bit more about that. We wish him the best and hope he's back soon and all that sort of stuff. And we've gotten some questions about office stuff, speaking of pandemics and all this stuff. I feel like that's the stuff that is this big moving target for most businesses. But at some point we kind of just broke off of that and said, nah, we're not going back, period. So, the company is doing a bunch of stuff to that office building in San Francisco that we were in, that I think even if we were still living in the same place, it is not
Conducive to a
Jen, you're gonna
studio.
have to- they are not going to have viable studio space in the one floor of that building they are keeping. So there's kind of, it would be pointless. God, I'm just like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like imagining like trying to schedule studio time with all the people that will need studios that will work on that place, and just go like, that's not going to work.
Gonna have to e-waste so many cables.
Yeah. So you're going to have to go in. I mean, that office will still be there. In theory, you being San Francisco based could work out of that office someday.
But it's still faster here.
You would be, and you would be so much further from the fridge.
Where they had us sitting for a little bit, we had our own little kitchen nook, and I was thinking in my head, it's like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
And then more COVID happened.
Yeah. And then, because because at some point they were like, they were going to reopen this month or something, right? And
Yeah,
like,
or was sometime last year.
Yeah. There's been a few different opening dates that they're just like, hey, we're going here. We're keeping 3 floors. Like, no, wait, we're keeping 1 floor. We're doing this. So it's like, those plans have solidified in a way now that I think it's okay to say it, because that stuff's been in flux so many different ways for so long. And there are, we've had other plans and all this other stuff. Nothing, anyway, without going too deep on it. It's just not going to happen. Like, at some point we said, fuck, I think a lot of us even said, fuck San Francisco. And everything in it. Almost everything in it. Almost everything
Except
in
me.
it. Except
Love you
Jan.
guys.
Yeah.
But,
And Rory has been going back to the office to save the relevant props, the props of lore
Right.
and of
Totem.
note from-
Luchador has been
Yes.
procured.
Yes,
I
Luchador,
have
baby,
ideas.
cool baby.
I definitely have like kind of post-pandemic ideas about what a physical location looks like and all that other stuff. So like I am hoping that maybe that stuff will pay off someday, and hanging on to that shit will pay off. But you know, who the fuck knows? Everything
Coming
is
to
so.
your local Buc-ee's.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we setting up shop in the corner
Yes.
of a Buc-ee's doing shows.
There's enough room there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fucking love the Buc-ee's.
But just yeah, it's just so long as we save the tapes and the tapes, I guess. Like I'm honestly like that's sort of when I hone in on like what's in that office that I know I want to keep. It's the tapes.
Tapes, and then like the 3 very important machines that arguably don't work anymore.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Like a bunch of like increasingly outdated gear that even if we went back to it now, would you even want to use it? But you should still mail me a camera because I'll hook it up and just have a side view or something.
You got it.
All right, man.
GoPro
And send me a
here.
camera and a tripod. I don't know. We'll do something.
You don't want those Black Magic ones, though.
It's so dark.
It is so dark. You would need so much fucking light in there.
It's not actually this dark in my kitchen office.
Really?
I have every light in this room turned off. I just have a blinds pulled open over here. There's no
Wow.
lighting
That's
in this
good,
room right now with
Natural.
this Logitech camera I'm using. But
A tripod you could definitely use.
Man,
someone's
you
saying
said
I'm going to
work
miss
from
mailbags.
home
I've
stipend.
actually I am probably going to set up a mail drop somewhere for people who want an address to
That's a
send
good idea.
stuff.
Let's do bi-coastal PO boxes.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, for people who want to send stuff. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about. Like, oh right, I gotta take care of that once everything else gets settled, and stuff is getting settled. So here we are. Let's talk about some video games.
Deal.
It's 2022, and that means it's finally time to talk about the newest and latest video games. We live in the future, and that means it's time to talk about Titanfall 2. Have you heard of this thing?
Hell yeah.
What?
Holy smokes. You can run on walls, and there are robots, and
What?
There's big robots. There's like
you
one.
get in
What?
a big you get
in the
make
robots?
a big robot fly out of the sky and land, and you jump in it, and then you dash around. Oh.
Dang. Can you wall run with the robot?
Not
Fuck
that's
it.
not so. It's you wouldn't. Well, that would be. Hey, so
Titanfall 3.
Titan-
Okay.
Yeah, Titanfall 3 is coming out. No, this kind of happened over the break. It sounds like this has been something that a team has been working on for like a year or more or something at this point. It's called Northstar, and it is custom server and player-hosted server support and mod support for Titanfall 2.
That's
They
great.
have found a way to hack that in, and I messed with it a little bit here and there. Turns out the only people that are paying enough attention to Titanfall 2 to notice that there are custom servers and all this other stuff are fucking really good at Titanfall 2. So it is frustrating as fuck to play because everyone is so good. But it means that people are starting to work on different mods and other stuff like that. And there are some servers running like Gun Game and some other kind of real basic first attempts at mods, and I'm really interested to see where that goes. It's still like you install it, it still like verifies with Origin. It doesn't seem like it's some big bootleg version of the game or whatever. Like it still kind of does some master server stuff with EA's authentication. But yeah, this kind of dropped out of nowhere and has people reverse engineering and looking at all the Titanfall files and coming up with different stuff. And it has been neat to see it happen. They put up a Discord that like I think they're up over 20,000 members now of
sick.
people that are just psyched to play Titanfall 2, which is cool because like the official servers and stuff, like there is some kind of security issue where like the servers were getting attacked and knocked offline, and like it was getting harder and harder to play Titanfall on kind of any platform there for a little bit. And I don't know what the status of that is because I haven't tried lately, but this seems like a meaningful alternative to that as well, which is kind of cool. It's kind of frustrating that stuff hasn't been addressed and more kind of directly fixed. But I messed with that, and I played a handful of games of Titanfall 2 that were some of them were completely laggy and messed up because you're just connecting to, it's just a server browser that they've hacked into the game. And, whereas when you play a regular ass game of Titanfall 2, you just hit go and it connects you to the right data center and does all the stuff for you. And you get a relatively low lag match. Whereas now you can just connect to some server in Japan if you want and go like, this is unplayable. Like any video game with a server browser, basically.
Could you go into a server or someone make a map where it's just oops all Titans?
Yeah.
Yes, they kind of already had a last Titan standing mode before, but yeah, there's I don't know what, I'd have to load up Discord and look, but I don't know what kind of mods are in progress right now beyond kind of gun game and some other stuff like that. And stuff like AI isn't working. Some of those modes had like AI dudes running around as well, but I guess the nav meshes for those AI to actually do their thing are not part of the client download. So people have to hack that. So like Auto Titans don't work super well and some of that other stuff. So it's obviously a super work in progress, but it was just really neat to see, a community form around that thing over the break.
Yeah, totally.
But
Yeah,
I guess
how much is Titanfall 2 going these days?
Oh, geez. $5?
I mean, I think it's on Game Pass, but I mean, you can't really do that. Well, so the PC version is on some version of Game Pass actually. So I think you could do it that way if you wanted to. But yeah, on Origin, I'm sure not much. On Steam.
On Steam, it's $5. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, you can get you some Titanfall 2 for relative. That's still an amazing campaign.
right.
Also, aside from all this other stuff, like, hell of a game. Everyone's talking about Wordle.
Yeah,
Hell
they
yeah.
are, and they won't shut up about it.
I know. I had to mute that shit.
Like they're in some
Done.
like they're in some fucking club. You
Yep.
know,
I
Yeah.
refuse
Like-
to tweet about it.
no context whatsoever, just squares and colors, and they're like 15/83 Wordle. Shut the
It
fuck
doesn't
up.
even have a link to the game in it. It's like the most,
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
could you do something less useful?
I like that. I like the relative obscurity of it, because if it was just a link to the game, then it would be like you really, really would just be posting an ad for the game every time you posted it. And that's-
You're posting an ad for the game.
Yeah.
you are just, it's a bad ad, I guess.
It's a bad ad.
It's Mastermind. Do you, like I think the New York
Oh,
Times
fuck
wrote an
yeah.
article about this.
Wait, the pegs and the colors?
The pegs and the colors. Like it's Mastermind. It's just, that's all
I
it is.
love that
It's
shit.
just,
I love
yeah.
that shit.
yeah. It's
Love Bakalar hating on this thing just because everyone likes
No,
it. And
I
then it's like, oh
hate
shit, that's
the-
cool.
I hate the cryptic tweet. I enjoy the game of Mastermind. These are two very different concepts.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people know it as Lingo, which was a game show from 15-ish years ago. There was an article, I think, in the New York Times about this and how it was cool and all this other stuff, and just all the comments were
remember
going,
Lingo.
"This is just Lingo," and I came very close to just like creating an account. So I go, "This is fucking Mastermind, you dipshits! It's decades older than that. Get a fucking grip. The fuck is wrong with you, Lingo?" So it's a word game. You guess a five letter word, and it will tell you if you have the right letters in the right position or the wrong position, and then you have 6 chances to guess the word, and it's 1 per day.
I wish there was
That's
more.
it.
I wish I could play the backlog of it.
Yeah. Yes, that would be either that or someone made one that is just, you can just play it infinitely and scale the letter count of the words. Like someone already made another browser based thing that doesn't have any sharing built in.
Wordle 2.
That'll just let you just do it over and over again.
No sharing. How do I brag about how smart I am
I know.
at words?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I got one in 3. I got a couple of them in 3. That's the best
I got a
I've
couple
done.
in 3. Yeah.
I've learned I'm dumb as shit.
You're not dumb, Jan.
Well, like when it comes to being constrained to 5 letters, I can't do it.
It's a puzzle.
All right, maybe you're a little dumb, but you're not that dumb.
Yeah.
Could never win Wheel of
I'm
Fortune.
learning words I didn't know were words.
It's not Wheel of Fortune as much as it is Mastermind.
Yeah, it's just best.
I'm just
Wheel of
working with like
Fortune.
my word bank or my letter bank. You know, it's like I can't do it.
I don't even
26 of them,
besmirch
man.
Wordle with Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is the dumbest shit on the planet. I'm sorry, and some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet on that goddamn show, guessing letters that have already been guessed, shit like that.
Like they have a board off to the side that shows what the fucking got guessed. Like they
definitely
and
do.
they still just like R? Like you motherfucker.
No, you guessed it, Tom. You guessed it.
Aunt Gladys has never been on TV before. She's very nervous and excited. She
no
guessed
media
R.
training.
Sorry.
It's not
no
the
media training.
seniors. It's the young people too. It's everyone.
Yeah.
Guess you know there's 2 T's. It's a lot of money. Guess the T. You'll get twice the money.
You might as well. I guess where Wheel of Fortune does come into play here is that there is an aspect of understanding letter frequency usage in the English language. And when people think about that, they always think about the bonus game from Wheel of Fortune.
RSTLNE, baby, all day.
Yeah, but since you can guess as many vowels as you want here in Wordle, that isn't necessarily like you probably want to throw an A in there because I think A is like 2 or 3 on the list or whatever it is.
What's your starting words, everybody?
I started
everybody.
using...
I mean 2 people because everyone else
Never
has
played
played this.
Wordle. I don't know what it is.
It's Mastermind.
It's Mastermind.
It's Mastermind. God damn it.
I've seen
I'm gonna play
Rebecca
right now.
Valentine from IGN use arise because
that's not bad. It gets a lot of vowels.
Get an
I've been
R in
using
there.
Steer, S-T-E-A-R.
Oh.
I've been using Beats, which is very close. Yeah, Beats. I think
bad.
Shake or Shame
Okay.
would be a good one too. Stare.
It's a UK game. It's based in the UK, Wordle.
I don't know.
I think the guy's based in New York, but it is hosted on some UK site. Yes.
Interesting. So okay.
So yeah, it's not even like Wordle. Like, the guy's name I think is Josh Wardle, so he named his game Wordle, which is great.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So Bakalar, you should obviously try out for Wheel of Fortune and show all those fucking morons what's up.
Dude, win
Exactly.
half a car.
I would
Please
be
win half a
so-
car.
Go play Hangman for money.
Take
I would
out
be
the trash.
Exactly. I would be so fucking wild on that program.
Go
It's
with
a
your
lifelong
doctor.
dream to get on there and just
it's a lifelong dream. Okay.
just to fuck around on that show and
right.
completely not care. You know,
I just
Take a
ever
trip.
since
Be like,
they
make fun of my contestant. Like, oh,
it's like, oh, who would pick that? I'm not a dumbass like this lady.
You
Hey,
idiot,
Gladys, nice
Jeremy.
one. I'll
Yeah.
take the service merchandise gift certificate. Like that. That's my Wheel of Fortune. God damn it! So as soon as they got away from the buying prizes at the end of the show, and the all the dumb like new categories of like it's 2 sentences mashed into one, and then there's a word in the middle. Like when they started doing all that shit, that's when I was just like, I've completely lost interest in this show.
Wheel of Fortune have jumped the shark.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's too gimmicky now. It's too much horse shit. Too much garbage on the wheel. Like it's a bunch of bullshit, and you don't even turn the letters anymore. You tap them and they turn on, right? Like
yeah, like
not the
that.
same.
What do we even
you
need
used to have
that?
to physically fucking turn
move
the
the
letters.
tile.
Like
I
that's.
don't even think she's touching anything. I think she's just like motioning.
Oh, you
towards
think she's
them.
like motioning to it, and then someone in the back is going, "Which one she does it?" Okay, all right.
Like I don't even like. I'm not saying get rid of Vanna White. I'm not saying
No,
get
of
rid of
course
Vanna
not.
White.
Yeah.
Don't cancel.
I'm just
Vanna.
saying she's not she is not responsible for the letters appearing now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Bring back Vanna White's responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her presence is largely
Hold her
vestigial at
accountable
this
for
point.
not being accountable.
Bring back analog letters.
That's right.
That's what's wrong with this country.
Yeah. Ever since we got away from analog letters, and now look what you got, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, violence in the streets against our law enforcement. Anyway,
Portland's the way it is because of digital letters.
yeah. Portland used to be a nice place to raise a family, and then Vanna White stopped turning the letters, and now it's like goddamn Vietnam.
Wheel of Fortune still like batch film their eps.
That broke me.
Oh,
Huh?
I'm sure they must.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably shoot 5 at a time or something, right? Like,
I bet.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever known
Back to back
anybody
to
that was
back
on
to
a
Yeah.
on a show like
Yeah.
My homie's brother won.
One.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like anything
Fortune or-
cool or like what? I feel like all the game show stories are never like, yeah, it was awesome. I won all these prizes. It was always like being on the show was great, and then I had to pay taxes and all this garbage I won.
Right.
Never got an update on how he wound up, what it was afterwards, what it was like afterwards.
What a game show? Wheel of Fortune?
Wheel of Fortune.
Oh,
He won like 45K.
say.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Good for him.
that's a
Nice
good
job
amount. It's
picking
no,
the
you
letters,
know,
buddy.
I was watching. I'm on some weird Discord servers. I caught a little bit of a game show that Rob Lowe hosts that people get into some kind of ball.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, and the ball moves around to show people the questions, and you're trapped in this fucking ball. And you got to hold this
Weird.
lever when you say the answers right. Like at some point, fucking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You want to talk about really fucking ruined America? God damn it! It's Who Wants to Be a Fucking Millionaire and the Dark
Brits.
Set game show.
Damn it, Regis!
Oh.
Brits. Freaking Weakest Link, all those British shows that came over here. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. All that stuff that came over and like tried to be the fucking sleek dark set.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is that is a nightmare. See, they made a fucking show and they fucking licensed Shazam for it. And it's just kind of name that tune.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of name that tune. That
Oh,
probably
yeah.
already came and went.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't even
seen
think
that.
that's on. That might not even be on anymore. It's just game shows used to mean
I
something. When I
like
used to
the-
stay home from school, game shows were good, is what I'm saying.
I learned how much a refrigerator costed, and I liked it. Thank you, Bob Barker.
Yeah.
I like that there's
That show
like three
rules.
categories of like game shows. It's like the ones that are from Britain or the UK, the ones that are kind of ours. I think maybe they're not. I don't know which ones are originally from the UK, but there's some that just smell like the UK for some reason. And then there's like the Japanese style ones that are all obstacle course based and physical challenge based and goofy stuff like that. Does anyone remember that game show that what was it called? Like The Chair. It had John McEnroe yelling at people trying
Right.
to get their heart rates
Yeah.
up. Stressing them
yes,
out,
yes.
and if your heart rate went over a certain amount, you like lost the game or something.
And died. Yeah. That was,
Yeah,
that was
so
great.
And then they do
Yeah,
the
lowered an
share.
alligator
John
on somebody.
McEnroe pulled the
Actually
lever,
could.
said the governor ain't coming to pardon you tonight, motherfucker. And then just
Yeah.
highest body count of any game show. Second highest Wipeout, actually. It's,
I want to refine that game show.
John Cena's Wipeout.
Yep.
I
John
want to
Cena.
refine. I only found one episode of this game show, Player versus Pain. Stop me if you've heard this one.
No.
This was a G4 situation that I. So you know it's good. But
we have a 12 alarm G-force situation.
Got a G-
We
G4
somehow
situation.
stumbled back into a G4 situation.
But yeah, it was the quote unquote good old days of G4. But so it was a little exploitative and stuff like that. But there was like dominatrixes like spanking people while they're trying to play video games.
What?
Okay, yeah.
I don't
there-
remember
there was
that.
This
hot-
is now
there was
ringing
hot-
some kind of bell.
There was hot girls playing easy mode of Guitar Hero, and every time they missed a note, they would get shocked with little
Shocked,
shock
yeah.
pads, and they would go "ooh," and their boobs would bounce. Like that kind of fucking game. I found one episode of it. I think it was like canceled before it even aired because somebody was like, "What are we doing?" What
Wow,
is
it got
this?"
pretty far down the road though.
They're like,
Yeah,
well, we
it's
could
just
air this, or we could put on more episodes of Fastlane.
It was so interesting, and it was just completely like wiped from the internet. I found one good copy of it, and I hold it near and dear to my heart. And I do not watch it. I just have it.
Yeah. You never know. Like in case of emergency, break glass on Player versus Pain. Like
Case of G4 returning.
The other, like, it's not quite a game show, but it's like the like reality show competition thing of like Bill Goldberg watching dudes cut stuff with knives.
Oh,
we've
such
talked
a
about
good
before.
show. Yeah.
Yes.
But
I
the
would-
knife-based
yes.
obstacle course of everyone, it's like BYO on the knives. So you go like, my knife's the best. And you're like, all right, go in there. And then you've got to cut a rope and stab a fucking box and do all this other
Oh,
stupid shit
shit.
with it. And
Yeah.
It's cool.
it's just the stupidest fucking shit. I'm amazed that I'm blown away by that television still exists. So I hooked up my fucking over-the-air antenna. And
Wait, what do you mean? It's very general. What do you mean?
I'm
like,
just how
Syndicated. Like
dumb
standard,
it is.
yeah.
And
Oh,
how,
very-
yes, like when you just like even network TV is so rife
TV.
with infomercials and shit, and just like the stuff you can get in with an antenna is like, here's this really high res. Like I watched the Rose Parade.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
My mom
The
caught that
DC thing?
too.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's in Pasadena, Pasadena, California, the former home of the world famous Pac-Man arcade. And it's a parade. They have floats with a bunch of roses and shit on them. There's a spot in that parade where they had like Leanne Rugged. Two big things here. One, it's Leanne Rimes performing some fucking song. There was not a country song. I don't know if she crossed over at some point or is trying to cross over, whatever it is. And then as the song is ending, a fucking B-2 stealth bomber just flies over the fucking parade. And then the announcer's like, wow, that's amazing. There's nothing stealth about that. Just like the stupidest fucking shit. Then you get about 2/3 of the way through. They have army paratroopers paratrooping into the middle of an intersection, because that's a thing you need. One of the guys goes flipping off crazy, and you're like, oh, that guy might have died. I don't know. But one of the guys, I think he's okay. But it's amazing, just him spiraling. And you're like, oh, that doesn't look good. Guy lands, looks at the camera. He's got a football, and he throws the football kind of above the camera. And then it cuts to a CG football traveling the whole length of the parade. No. And it's like they're panning these multiple panning shots of this fake football flying into a football stadium. And then some dude who was in the Harry Potter movie catches it and goes, he basically says, like, enjoy the football, mate. Or you're like, whatever the fuck. And it's like, how did this happen? How did this guy get picked to do this? And every step of the way, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And so television is fucking insane. It's amazing that it still exists. That's still like a medium that is still out there.
It's great.
I've got Player versus Pain playing behind me now.
Oh, nice.
Oh God, it's great, but it's also slowly. I mean, it's still very big and important, and people watch it. They're all old, but
right. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I feel
even
like
a lot of the people watching cable now are. I mean, that's one of the things that comes up. You can't be a wrestling fan in this day and age without eventually encountering discourse about television ratings and demographics.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah. I remember
which
that.
Is
it's what we thrive
stupid.
on.
Raw got a 3.4.
Well, yeah, and then you find out other details like the average viewer age for Monday Night Raw is like 65 or something. And you're like, yeah, that sounds about right for the television show they're putting on. Someone who can't get up to turn off the channel. That sounds.
That's why they go 3 hours.
Right. Someone falls asleep in the middle of hour 1, and then they get credit for the ratings for hours 2 and 3. Works out great. Anyway, what else is going on in terms of video games? Jess, sounds like you played a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I played so many things.
Pick me 2 of them that stood out to you as things that stuck with you.
It Takes Two. I did not like it.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, it sounds like that was best family game.
Best family game. I'm very strange. I just I don't know what the qualifications are for being in that category. It's vague.
Technically, the Fast and Furious game should have been in that.
Yeah, because
that's
what it's about.
Hang on. Do I have the?
Oh, do you have?
I might have the jury guide.
We got some inside baseball stuff going on here, but I thought it was very strange that was even nominated for, not just because of the themes. Like, you can have, kids can handle themes. Whatever. And if a game is fun, then hey, it's a family game. I just thought it was weird that the word shit comes up in this family game. And I thought maybe cursing might disqualify it from being a family game.
It's real then.
Here's the description for best family game according to the jury guide for the Game Awards 2021. Best family game: for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform.
Oh, that's so fucking stupid.
That's really vague. Okay. like, what do you think the age demo is for family? Like, you're playing it with your family, I assume.
Family.
You know,
I think
like
that's
7-year-old
something.
kid or
I
something.
mean, if I had to guess, that's not necessarily one that people are playing with kids, but maybe it's one that are playing with their spouse
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
that type of
So
thing, like that.
I mean, when I hear family, I think family friendly.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like that kind of euphemistic talk about like family friendly and stuff like that. So PG is what I'm thinking.
Maybe co-op game
yeah.
would have been.
You know, I feel like Chicory is a better family game because there's no goddamn cursing in it.
Unless you
can
write it
just draw.
yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you write it yourself, you draw a big penis on like one of your screens, which of course I did. I wrote the words "Mr. Piss Jug" on one of my screens, but you know, and
As
all
you
the
do.
little animals loved it. Okay, they loved it. They thought it was really artistic. But I know kids say shit. But it's like, if you're don't sass me, Chad. I know kids say shit. I'm also obviously not a prude with regards to cursing. People have been bitching about me cursing. So
Whoa. Hold the phone here.
Whoa. This is a R show, please.
This is for the year 2022. We've decided no more cursing.
well, it's not
Past minute
ladylike.
one, we'll
I
be
get
okay
it.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just was taken aback by the fact that there's like cutscenes where characters say shit, and it's just like
just
that's
shit. They don't.
weird.
Does anyone really go for
They
the
say-
gold and say motherfucker or?
No, they say
Okay,
shit
I can handle
and
shit.
relation shit and stuff like that.
Relation shit?
Relation
of
shit.
shit? Oh, that's
But is
actually
that's
no,
like, I
that's
wonder
okay.
if they were aware of Juggalo champion shit wrestling when they wrote that joke.
Probably.
I'm sure.
Probably.
But you know, anyway, that's not like my only complaint about it or anything. I just personally thought it was like kind of strange that it was, it was up with WarioWare and Pokemon Snap, and
Well,
it's like
he's got a
WarioWare
Wario
games
doesn't
often
sell.
have physical representations of shit in them.
yes,
they
and
don't say
boogers.
shit.
Armpit
And
hair.
Wario himself is shit.
That's true. So I just thought that was strange. But like, gameplay itself, I thought, it's maybe I play a lot of co-op stuff, and I play a lot of games in like kind of co-op format, even if they're not co-op games. Like me and my partner will just be on the couch together, kind of co-playing something, passing the controller or something like that. So maybe I just am less impressed by like co-op games that are okay, because I've played a lot of them, and it's like, this one's good. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay, except the combat's not really fun, but it's just written in the most annoying possible way, and it's it's a whole thing. I don't want to get too negative or get too deep into it. Too late, though, am I right? But
Give me one more. Like, so you finished Chicory. I have played some Chicory and am working my way through it. I love Chicory.
I loved it.
Oh,
It's really
man.
sweet.
It's adorable, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good times. It's chill. It's go at your own pace. It's more Zelda-like than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Which was a really pleasant surprise. I thought it would be way more of like not like a walking simulator, but like just a little less active, like puzzle type, Zelda type gameplay. Because it's really got that Zelda DNA is absolutely obviously in there. And then you put fun, neat little drawing things on top of it, and you're chilling out with your couch co-op partner, just coloring stuff in. It's really nice. It's really chill. I like it a lot. It was a good story.
Nice. Yeah.
Pleasant, very pleasant.
Hell of a game. Hell of a game.
Good times.
Doesn't say the word shit in it unless you bring that shit yourself.
That
which
is
is
true.
nice.
Which is how I prefer to play a game. I want to bring the shit myself.
Yeah.
I want to
Speaking of
corrupt
bringing
a
some
innocent
shit.
game.
I was thinking, Jeff Bakalar, you've delved into the deep dark world of Teardown mods.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
I started, after we talked a little bit about this yesterday, I finally went and looked in the Steam Workshop myself and saw two things that you had
Okay.
mentioned. One was the version of Manhattan and a 737 plane.
Yeah, and that's
And
really
I was like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
yeah. I
okay.
mean, there's something about
And a meteor
this.
strike that apparently
That's
so
pretty
cool.
That's
It
pretty
is
cool.
cool. Everything.
See, that's
look,
okay. That's
no, and even
different.
like so you can't before you instantly assume that you're flying planes into Manhattan. It's not It's not what you do in Teardown. That's not what the goal of this all is. The upsetting thing is that you can kind of like enter a map that is Manhattan, but it's like Playland Manhattan, where you're as tall as the buildings. So you kind of are just like King Konging your way around with the rocket launchers and lightsabers and all these fun sort of tools at your disposal. And that can get a little upsetting if you really catch the TV at a glance real quick and look away and you're like, Jesus, what's my child doing?
What am I doing? Oh, jeez.
But there is something about just the demand of the horsepower that this game demands and how good everything really looks and just all the really impressive sort of physics that happen in this game and the just pure destruction sandbox stuff that you can really waste hours and hours on. I mean, look, like there is something to be said about going to like, there's one mod that's just like a terminal, like an airplane terminal. And there's a weapon called like, it's some sort of katana thing where like you slice the air and out comes this like freaking, I don't know what, like it just cuts through everything like a knife through hot butter. And you can just dissect a heavily detailed plane in half and just watch it separate at 2 frames a second because your computer is running at 5,000 degrees. I don't know. That's fun. It's just fun to fuck around with those weapons and play around. And look, you know how I got into this shit? My kid stumbled across some like YouTube person who found all these mods and he was just like, Dad, we have to do this. And I'm just like, we can do this right now. And that was it. And 12 hours later, we're just like, do it again.
Blow more stuff.
And and they give, there's a lot of fun maps that are and just heavily detailed, and you just sort of like see all the fun, ridiculous explosion junk that you can do. A part of me in the beginning was like, is this bad? Like, is this bad what I'm doing? Are we just blowing up these buildings with like voxel, pipe bombs and stuff? And I'm just like, it's what's the difference between that and we build blocks all day long.
Yeah,
and
what are you
smash
outside
cars.
pulling legs off frogs? It's like, what are you gonna do otherwise?
Magnifying glasses with the sun.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
but I gotta be honest, it's fun. It is the sandboxy stuff there because look, I played a lot of Teardown. I enjoyed Teardown. The more I played Teardown, the more I was like, I wish this game was something a little different.
Yep.
I wish
like
this
the
game
game
maybe
part of
wasn't
Teardown is kind of in the way.
Yeah.
I wish of a lot of the cool parts. Yeah.
You play that first tutorial level and it's like, yo, fuck this house up. And you're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And then it's like, steal 5 cars and don't smash a single pixel. And you're like, whoa.
What? No.
This is not what I signed up for. Signed up for the voxel fun.
I did like stealing a safe out of a house.
Yes.
In that game was fucking cool because you could just like fuck up the floor and have it ka-thunk into a truck that you parked underneath in the garage.
See, that's a smart way to
totally.
do it. I just
there's
dragged
like
it out.
the fun ways to solve some of those problems. It ends up being really cool, but that it gets to be a bit much. Like that aspect of Teardown, the just fuck shit up. It's like it's everything that it's everything I wanted out of that Red Faction game that was all about physics and destruction and stuff, because it's like here's infinite permutations on that. And it's a lot of what I liked about all the time I spent playing Gary's mod with friends, where you're just like building elaborate things, and then at some point you're like, we've been on this server for like 7 hours and it hasn't crashed yet. We need to start breaking stuff. And then finding which mods are poorly coded just enough to make the whole server crawl down to 1 frame a second and eventually just crash.
Nice.
It's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm going to get back into Teardown.
Yeah, I want to get back into it too. Somebody asked me what my favorite art crime was in Chicory, and it is this.
Oh, is that an Among Us humongous
one of the Jelly Bean
butt?
Boys?
I made an Amogus with a big ass in Chicory.
Nice.
And
how does it walk around?
That's for him to decide.
Sexily
with a nice sway.
No, but the this is the Teardown, like the meteor strike stuff, when you're just like, I wonder how many of these I can drop on this hospital right now. And it's just fun. It's just fun. You know, like
what do you got? What do you
and
got
I
in there? What
cra-
kind
I
of,
crash
what kind
that
of
game all
computer
the
you got?
time.
How is it? How are your frame rates holding up on what kind of graphics card you got? Like what are you throwing at this thing?
It's a 3080 on a 4K TV. You know, it's so I'm getting to see 99% of everything in a pretty, you know, sexy looking fashion. So
Yeah.
but I still crash it. Like when you
Nice.
like you can change the you can change the sort of like range of that katana sword thing. So when you only do it like 100 meters, the game only has to like figure out that, and then it's done, and you start, you know, you start to see like it cool down. But when you're like make that, you know, slider infinity, then the game's like, you sure about this? And you're like, do it, do it. And then you crash the windows, and you're like, all right, I guess we can't do that. But yeah, I mean, it's running. I mean, I guess that's what's happening, right? Like it's just sort of chunks and crashes. But
Yeah,
for the most part,
it's got to
I feel
think
like
about where all those voxels are going, and then
Totally.
it's just like
It's
I'm
gotta-
tired. I want
and
to go to sleep.
there's one weapon we got where it's like this corrosive bubble thing where like the gun you have shoots out these corrosive like slime bubbles, and they constantly crackle away at the surfaces and stuff. So you're like, the second you shoot that gun, the math is going on for infinity until like it chews through everything and just sort of bottoms out. So you have to like do that in a way that doesn't, you know, interfere with all the other calculations that are going on. It's fun. Like the first time the game crashed, it was fun trying to explain it to my kid. He's like, what would we do? I'm like, we did too much. I'm like, we did too much science. That's what we did. We did too much science. The computer's brain went, it farted out, and it had to say, nope, flushed it down the toilet, and we have to start all over again. He's like, I get it.
Is there
I'm going to be a scientist.
Is there a grappling
yeah.
hook in Teardown? I hope there's like a Just Cause
There's
style.
jetpacks. We got a jetpack right now. We got a jetpack. We got a lightsaber. We got a railgun. Oh, that railgun chews through.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah.
Nice.
Get the rocket launchers. There's like, oh man, there's like nitroglycerin like tablets or like something like that where you just like
Drop a
stick
tab.
them all over, and then you
Wow.
like and then you run away and you shoot like a little pistol at it, and you just watch it all go like oh, it's fun. Get into Teardown mods, my friends, if you haven't.
Yeah. That's awesome that has taken off, because I think last time I looked at it, it had mod support, but there just wasn't much there yet, and so I'd like to see that their real community is forming
and
around
it's
that
super
stuff.
plug and play. Like I told you, I think I said it on something else. He figured it out. He just was like, oh, I just have to click this button, the plus button,
just subscribe
and
to
now
this
it's in
and
the
then
game.
go to this.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got to take the meteor mod and mod the meteor so that it looks like an airplane, and then
I don't know if you need to do that. Maybe mod it so it looks like Mr. Bingo himself. Turn Mr.
Just a
Bingo
PNG,
into
just a hard PNG.
I think if you spawned Bingo into the world of Teardown, he would just eat it all.
I think that's actually GB community homework is get my boy Bingo into Teardown.
Bingo Papadopoulos.
Let's
Put Bingo
make it
Papadopoulos
happen.
into Teardown. Damn it.
Finally, Bingo is back.
Yeah, and he's pissed, and he's destroying everything in his sight. What else? I bought a RetroTINK 5X Pro.
Yeah,
which is
talk to me about this. Why? Like, why do you need this? I don't understand.
So I
is
have an OSSC and some of the other solutions for taking basically analog video sources and scaling them up to 1080p and such in grand fashion. The catch is that a lot of Saturn games will run in multiple resolutions.
right.
And so the process of snapping from one resolution to another will often cause a full HDMI resync on the
Totally.
OSSC and such. The RetroTINK is faster, and so it can just do it.
Sounds
Nice.
so cool.
And so that was enough for me to go like, yeah, this is something I want to fuck around with. And there's was it the Pixel FX Morph is also touting this same functionality, but that's not going to be out for a handful of months yet. And so initially I was going to wait till they were both out and kind of determine which one was better. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this for me for Christmas and fuck around with it.
Aw. You
Yeah,
deserve it.
so, but now it is set off the thing again of like, okay, well now I need a Saturn that has an ODE in it because I'm tired of burning all these discs. And all this other stuff. So it's all of this gear is just a money pit at the end of the day, because there's always one more thing to buy, whether it's like, well, now I need a SCART cable for, well, I need to find my SCART cable for my PlayStation 2. Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
And my hope is that there's a PlayStation 2 game that I want to do some streaming of that does not emulate super well. So gotta do some...
I got my partner a RetroTINK last Christmas because he likes streaming like demo discs and stuff, and sometimes those also change aspect ratios all over the place.
Totally, yeah.
That's interesting.
Anything that is like has FMV-ish stuff in it has a tendency to change aspect ratios and all sorts of goofy stuff like that. So he's been liking it.
Yeah,
I know nothing about it. I was like, I'll just buy this for you. It was very tiny. I put it in the stocking.
Nice. Yeah. No, it's scary. Yeah, they are. And then like everything around buying SCART cables, and there's like this is composite sync, and you're like, I'm gonna pretend I know what that means and hope for the best. And also all of them come with a lot of warnings around like, hey, if you blow this thing up because you plugged in the SCART cable wrong, it's not on us. Warranty's not gonna handle, so make sure you turn this fucking thing off. Turn everything off before you move cables. Because I was looking at a SCART switcher, which a few different companies make those. So I can just plug in.
Only a few out there, yeah.
Yeah, plug in 8 different SCART things and have it all go into this seamlessly. But all that is even more just like, hey, you might blow up your console, you might blow up the Switch, you might blow up the scaler. Oh, damn. Like, don't fuck around with these cables. And I don't think it's actually as fragile as they say it is, but there's definitely an aspect of, if you fuck around, you can cause
acting like it's
a
male-to-male cord or something, like a power cord.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's not quite. Yeah. They go to the store and it says like, don't ask us for these. We don't sell them.
They don't exist because they'll kill you.
Yeah. Right.
Make your own.
So go home and make your own. That's the lesson learned. So yeah, that's fun, but it has led to now I need to dig through my garage because I have a Saturn. I have a launch US Saturn that has a dead drive. And so that is probably the optimal candidate for putting a Fenrir into, and going down that road. Because I have a Japanese Saturn in here that has a region switch in it, and I don't know that I want to put it in that one because that's already got some stuff done to it, and that other one has a dead drive. So I figure I might as well use that one, chop that one up, and put the ODE in it. But then that goes down the hole of like, well, like, what if I could maybe I could use a Dreamcast that also.
That's what I would love to do. Buying a Dreamcast. I've been thinking really, really hard about it, wanting it, and doing the HDMI mod to it that Peter Brown did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's more stuff like this.
The crispy ass
DC digital, and it's that shit looks really nice when you jump through all those hoops. But it gets pricey fast for sure.
Surprisingly, they're all hovering around $150 for a Dreamcast on eBay.
Yeah, the raw console not too bad. If you get a mode, which is you can also get. There's a couple of different drive emulators out there, which are basically the things that let you load games off an SD card or something. Like the mode, I want to say is somewhere around $200. There's a cheaper one that there are also like bootleg versions of out there all over AliExpress and shit. But I don't know if those things are reliable or not. You could spend a whole lot of time on this stuff, and hopefully like I reckon by the time I get all this stuff where I want it and have spent all the money, the Mr. Core for the Saturn will drop and it will be fucking perfect, and I'll be like, right, yeah. But
now you can test it, is what you can do.
Exactly.
You can put it like a 1-to-1 type of deal.
Precisely. This is yes. If not me, who? If not now, when?
Makes sense.
You're doing it for the Lord and science.
Exactly. Speaking of the Lord and science, why don't we take a break and address both of those things? I don't know what the ad is. Maybe it addresses both those things. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Probably.
Probably.
Christian Science thing, yeah.
Yeah, could be. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get into some news. How about that?
All right.
Hey, you trying to sell stuff on the internet? It can be a real hassle, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have to be, because there's Shopify. Shopify is more than a store. Shopify helps you connect with your customers, driving sales and managing your day-to-day. It'll instantly let you accept all major payment methods and all this other stuff. You can integrate it into thousands of different third-party apps and all this other stuff, whether you're doing on-demand printing or accounting or chat bots, whatever you're trying to do, Shopify can be the center of your online sales. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses. So upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronizing online and in-person sales and effortlessly stay informed about what's where and what's all this other stuff. That's the thing. If you're gonna do in-person sales and online sales, you gotta make sure that your stock lines up, right? You can't run out in one place and not have enough to cover the other and all this other stuff. You need to keep it synced. Shopify can keep it synced. Shopify powers millions of businesses from first sale to full scale. You can reach customers online across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps like, Facebook. People love Facebook. Instagram. Instagram. You got your TikTok, your Pinterest, and more. And you gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. It's more than a store. Shopify grows with you. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com/bomb, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/bomb right now. Shopify.com/bomb. All right, we're back. Why don't we get into some news?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's
News.
Some sad news at the top here. Football legend John Madden passed away over the break on
Daily
the 28th of
finest.
December. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Repping it to the fullest. Aged 85. Of course, the intersection here with games is it's John Madden from John Madden, the video game. And that's well, this was going to happen. I think I feel like there's people speculated like, what? No one is immortal. The Madden Cruiser, I hope will drive on I hope it just becomes a vehicle that is just on the road. I hope it's just on the roads for the rest of eternity. Is just constantly driving back and forth across America. And if you see it,
tip your hat.
Yeah.
Throw a football at it.
Tip your hat. Yeah. Retrofitted into EV bus, I'm sure, one day.
Sure.
Drive on forever.
And it's just, if you see it, if you flag down the Madden Cruiser, I hope that you can pull it over and they will give you a turducken. That's
my hope as well.
That's those big old bear claws. Big old bear claws. Used to say all the time.
Yeah.
My dad,
like a statement, I guess, but it's more of just a tweet with some images with some words on it. It says, today we lost a hero. John Madden was synonymous with the sport of football for more than 50 years. His knowledge of the game was second only to his love for it and his appreciation for everyone that ever stopped on the gridiron. A humble champion, a willing teacher, and forever a coach. Our hearts and sympathies go out to John's family, friends, and millions of fans. He'll be greatly missed, always remembered, and never forgotten. I
was going to say my dad, I saw my dad last weekend or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a shame about John Madden. I'm like, yeah, And then he said to me, he goes, the game, his legacy will be the video game. And I was sort of like, Dad, did you just make a lucid conclusion about a thing? Like, that is way out of your lane? Okay. And he's like, yeah, I think it did. And yeah, but he's right. He's right. Yep. I do think that legacy, which is, there are people who will misinterpret that as like some sort of bad thing. No. My God, no. It's
I mean,
wild.
the first one of those games was in '88, and then it came to the Genesis in 1990. Wow. And that was where it got super popular. It was like there was the Madden versus Montana kind of two competing football games back then. And even though I think they were coded by the same team in some portion. Like, it was weird. The early days of those are like, it's fascinating history there. But, you know, that's just been this ongoing thing forever and ever and ever. And I don't have any real personal interest in the game of football or the video games these days. But back then, like, that was like, everyone just played that stuff, whether you cared about football or not. There weren't enough games coming out that you could afford to not play a game. So, you know, you played a fair amount of Madden. And yeah, I never met him. I know that's something that, like, in our years at GameSpot, there was definitely a lot of like events and stuff like that where like a lot of people on the crew were around him, and it sounds like he, you know, and I feel like that's kind of become the stories that you see coming out in the days since his passing is a lot of just like, that guy loved football and knew how to explain it to people that didn't necessarily understand the technical aspects of the game as well as he did, and could teach people while being kind of loose, kind of lighthearted about it along the way, and that's cool.
Yeah.
What'll tough act and Tencent do now?
I know, right? Yeah, and not to just, it's maybe a little too soon, but like, what will they do with those video games?
Yeah, right.
Well,
I feel like you
got to think that there's been like a contingency,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're still called. I mean, again, I'm sure there is some legal thing going on with the deal, but I would assume they're just indefinitely Madden.
I would think so too. Yeah.
It's too iconic of a name.
It is, and
they're not
it
gonna,
is
like,
synonymous
rebrand
with
or something.
it's become synonymous with the games in a way, in a similar way to Tom Clancy, I guess. Whereas he passed on years ago, and, you know, at some point Ubisoft just bought the rights to that guy's name, which is an insane thing to even think about. But I don't know. They should maybe put John Madden on the cover of the John Madden video game again. Yeah, that's my
busting
only
out of a
thought
wall
on this.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
Yes, reissue the cover to the first game as for next year's game or something. Something cool
no
like
brainer,
that.
Definitely.
They'll probably just make an NFT out of him instead.
Oh
God damn it.
No,
Don't betray his
that's
legacy.
too soon.
That's
Any day now.
All right. GoldenEye, you heard of this thing?
Once or
James
twice.
Bond.
Go on.
Yeah, it's a N64 video game.
Oh, that one.
It seems to
That
be
my
potentially.
could not stop kicking my ass in, and I felt very, very bad about it. Could not
Been
win
there
that fucking
before.
game. He owned
Probably
it.
picked
Of
an odd
course, he had
job.
the upper hand.
Yeah.
He's on the home team.
Achievements for a GoldenEye video game running on an Xbox have surfaced on a couple of Rare employees' profiles. This was picked up by True Achievements and a couple of other achievement scraping sites. It's a full list of 1,000 points. So, okay, I guess there's there's a lot of history here. So last year, an Xbox Live Arcade Xbox 360 remaster of GoldenEye leaked out. And it was a relatively fully functional port of that game to the Xbox 360. And like XBLA games, you know, that was a game that would have had, I believe, 200 points was the achievement limit back then for those games. This list has a full 1,000 points on it. So it does not seem like it's just like somehow that build got onto retail, you know, and Rares are playing it or whatever. You could speculate that this probably means that this is a full-on new port of this game to current Xbox, which is interesting and potentially exciting. This was so that XBLA game, when that leaked, it led to a flurry of kind of interviews and comments from people who for the most part were no longer at Rare, I believe, kind of talking about like, oh yeah, we ported GoldenEye to the Xbox 360. That's the thing we did, and everyone was on board, and Microsoft had done all the work to make it happen, and Nintendo was on board, and the prevailing point seems to be that Nintendo at some point was like, actually, no, we have decided we don't want to go forward with this, and or that they built it before the deal was actually signed, and Nintendo just kind of never followed through, and so the project died. And until it leaked out last year, it was something that was really only kind of hinted at, or not even really hinted at. It was like speculated that something was going to happen at some point, but it didn't surface until suddenly it all surfaced, and you're like, whoa, this is like a very playable build of this game that you have suddenly that has suddenly appeared.
This is the thing that you can toggle between, like, the N64 version and the Xbox version, right?
I believe it had a graphical, sort of like Halo and stuff. Where you could toggle between old and new, which is always fun when they do that. Yeah. And so, so my guess here is that when that thing leaked out, it led to someone going like, maybe we should do that. Seems like there's some excitement around this. And Jeff Grubb has speculated that this means that the game would potentially also come to the Switch in the form of like emulating that version of the game on their N64 emulator and all this other stuff.
Got to put something on that service.
Yeah, Nintendo does still own. Nintendo does still own a piece of that game. Microsoft, of course, bought Rare in the years since GoldenEye's release, but they can't just go and put that back out without doing a whole bunch of business work to make it happen. I think that's possible. I think that would make some sense, but I think the more interesting thing to me here is that it's a very different Nintendo now than you had then, and their attitudes towards collaboration and their attitude towards like whether it has to appear on their own hardware or not, like all that sort of stuff. I think that they have.
It's a little more open now. Yeah.
It's like just as there's a hint of light peeking through the door, right? You got
baby's whisper.
Different leadership in charge in the U.S. and the baby's whisper of hope with the folks in Japan. It seems like there's maybe just a better framework in place for people to say like, hey, we should do this. This actually, because it's not like Nintendo gives a real shit about first-person shooters. Like it's just so not their style of game in this day and age. They don't lose anything
like Sega said, Nintendo don't. So
exactly,
It goes all the way back.
These are all facts.
For the longest time, they refused to. But so I think that makes a lot of sense, and I wonder when we will hear something about this. This is great fucking old school shit. Also, in terms of games leaking out on profiles and achievement unlocks and stuff like that. Like that's some classic Xbox 360 era shit too. So I can't remember. I can't remember the last time that this happened this specific way since I found like something called Mortal Kombat 8 on someone's Xbox 360 profile before Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe had even been announced. They used to be a lot more weird about what they allowed to touch the retail servers than they are now. Like the Xbox One dev environments are way more sandboxed off, and it's not even PartnerNet the way it used to be. All that stuff has changed behind the scenes. So I don't even know how this happens, honestly, at this point, how that gets onto a profile, unless it's like damn close.
Yeah.
Which led to people speculating that maybe this is just going to be some shadow drop New Year's Eve thing, which obviously that did not happen, but
GoldenEye 99. Not sure how that's going to work.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know.
There you go.
It's,
I like it.
You're welcome, Nintendo.
Why not? I don't know. I think that'd be cool because I think that game would play a lot better on a modern controller. It was actually I spent some time with that Xbox 360 build, and it plays a lot better than that N64. Just the N64 controller, like it was obviously so built for that.
Yeah,
but when you think about the context change in what we think of as modern console shooters and how they control and all this other stuff like that stuff has really changed in a way that makes original GoldenEye pretty rough to go back to, and pretty like purpose built for the N64 controller. Like trying to play that game on a different controller, it just doesn't. It makes it even crazier. So
yep.
And hey, they're selling new Bluetooth ones anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the thing is like when you think about the Switch Online service and the N64 controller that they are selling, like you kind of need that for some of these games to really shine. Maybe shine is a strong word. To work. How about? But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this sort of stuff. This just seems very on brand for where Microsoft is at in terms of just like, fuck it, let's see if we can make it happen. Like they seem way more in that boat over the last handful of years. So this sort of move feels pretty on brand for them. I think it'll be curious to see if Nintendo ends up getting a version as well, in some way, shape, or form. But yeah. Let's see some of the news that hit while we were off. I think some pieces of this were already out there in terms of Remedy talking about the number of different projects that we're working on, but Remedy has confirmed via an investor announcement that they are working on a free-to-play co-op multiplayer game codenamed Vanguard that Tencent will be publishing.
Why is that
weird?
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently can
There's
only
already
call things.
Vanguard's
Five
the only
name.
word left anymore. This is. I could see Vanguard. Well, we don't really know. It is Remedy's original intellectual property is how they define it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's based on one of their existing ones, or that is also technically an original intellectual property, or if it's an all new thing. I assume it's an all new thing. But like a lot of other Remedy games, it will probably tie into the universe. They've been big on trying to make sure that all of those games kind of come together in one way or another.
The more I play Remedy's games, the more I'm liking that they're doing that. Like, that's really enjoyable for me.
Yeah, it's really fun when they pull that off. Yeah,
I like lore stuff, so it's fun.
That's the stuff that makes me want to play Alan Wake 2, even though I didn't like Alan Wake 1. Is like the hooks that they have put into some of that stuff.
I definitely think Alan Wake 1 has gotten more interesting since Control and stuff like that came out and hooked itself into the world of Control. Like, cool idea. Yeah. I'm very excited for Alan Wake 2 in general, though.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else they say here. This is a co-op PvE shooter that combines Remedy's narrative expertise and action gameplay into an immersive multiplayer experience. So not necessarily going for like a competitive shooter per se, but this sounds like a Destiny. This sounds like the Division. This sounds like, that type of service game. They talk a little bit about the budget and say it's in concept right now, but the dev budget up until the end of the first year for live operations will be in the range of a typical Remedy AAA game budget. So they are planning for this to be a multi-year project. Tencent will retain the rights to publish a mobile version of this down the line and localize it for Asian markets.
That's the more interesting part that I found from the story. Thinking of like a mobile game from Remedy or something that can play on mobile, because God, Call of Duty mobile, PUBG mobile is so huge in Asia. Right. Yeah. Like, it's insane to think the potential audience Remedy could be opened up to just in a mobile sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And let's see what else here. Built on Unreal Engine. So yeah, they've got a quote from Tero Vertala, who's the CEO. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. CEO of Remedy, who says Vanguard marks Remedy's first entry into games as a service business model executed by our top tier team of free to play experts. We are building something new and exciting for co-op multiplayer space. On top of Remedy's strengths, expanding our capabilities to take on publishing responsibilities is the next step in the development of our company. We are excited for this long-term partnership with Tencent, and with confidence can say it is an excellent fit in supporting Vanguard's ambitious plans. That's interesting because they're doing this deal with Tencent, but they've also got I think it's a multi-title deal with Epic to publish some stuff over there. So it just seems like Remedy is really spread out into different kind of areas and different partnerships and different sort of deals. They seem very much kind of in control of their own fate a little bit. I think a piece of Control is maybe still controlled by 505 Games. So there's that too, I think. But yeah, they've done a lot of different deals around, and I'm interested to see it. I think that it's very easy to shit on the sentence free-to-play cooperative PvE shooter when you think about what Remedy has traditionally been good at. But I think taking what Remedy has traditionally been good at and finding ways to insert it into that kind of ongoing game, you start to think about lore, you start to think about the sort of events you could have that tie in some of their other franchises and some of this other stuff. Like, you know, if that makes sense, like, you know, maybe this is just some space game and it won't make any sense, but like Space Alan Wake. Space Alan Wake.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
How's that flashlight
Space
gonna work?
Dead Space.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
Dead
Yeah.
Space.
It's just Dead Space.
Where's my wife? In space.
Yeah. And we're just stomping over and over again.
Ah!
Yeah, I don't know. I am interested to see what Remedy ends up doing with this sort of stuff and all that. I think that, like, I am not playing very much Destiny anymore. Like, I do not currently have an ongoing game that I am playing. And obviously this is still in proof of concept, so this is, you know, a year or more off. But like, yeah, I could be up for something like that if done properly. You know, if they really pay attention to the story and the world and all the other stuff in the way that Remedy does, like, that could be really cool.
Sure.
Final Fantasy. Oh, hang on, let me do my Roman numeral work here. 16. 16.
Yeah.
They made 15. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they made 15 of those. Has been pushed back about 6 months from the sounds of things. They originally had hoped to have some details on the game out in 2021, but instead they put out this thing saying, hey, we will not have details until the spring of 2022. And the game has kind of been pushed back about 6 months or so as a result of the ongoing pandemic.
Thanks a lot, COVID. Jeez.
Messing up all the games.
Yeah. Our primary goal is now to be as hands-on with the game as possible in order to see it fully polished. We will conduct our next big reveal in spring of 2022 as we seek to build excitement leading up to the game's eventual release. Very non-committal.
Yep.
Stuff
Eventually.
gonna happen. Stuff may happen.
We're
Stay
going to
tuned.
eventually make some of that stuff get out there. So yeah, it sounds like they had spent most of 2021 figuring out how to work from home, and now that they've done that, they are able to kind of, according to the letter here, focus better on increasing graphic resource quality, refining combat mechanics, fleshing out individual battles, putting the finishing touches on cutscenes, and conducting overall graphical optimization. So, sounds like they're getting there. I can't say that I expected them to actually put out that information last year, so this is more kind of confirming something that had gotten, I think, increasingly obvious as last year wore on. But
I get so confused with this Final Fantasy because I keep thinking this is the one with chaos, or the one with the woman being transported into like an isekai type of scenario.
No, those are two totally different games. Honestly, I don't know what I forgot what this game is. I watched some trailer for it when putting this news story in here, and it's already left my brain. I don't remember a damn thing about it.
Yeah, there's a chocobo in it, I think.
Okay, yeah. There's a chocobo in it. We need 6 more months to make the chocobo feathers look good. It is being developed for the PlayStation 5, so there's that.
Okay.
In other Square news, I don't even know. It's like, well, look. They, I think the interesting thing with this happened last night.
Oh, cool. Sick. Oh
God.
NFT talk.
Yeah.
NFT talk.
That's the thing. We need to record you saying NFT talk and put it at the end of that music, because that is now the segment music for this.
Yeah.
Yosuke Matsuda, the president and representative director of Square Enix Holdings, put out his New Year's statement and devoted a good chunk of it to the blockchain.
The real chaos.
The absolute. Yeah.
True.
The fucking.
It's the only way to live, right?
Just smash the blockchain, put on the headphones, play the Limp Bizkit, walk away. It'll all be fine. There's a couple of quotes in here that are really fucking wild because of the inference as to why people play games and all this stuff. And here's just, I've picked this paragraph out of the middle of it, and I'll just read a little bit of it here. I realize that some people who play to have fun and who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservations towards these new trends, and understandably so. However, I
However-
believe there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute, by which I mean help make the game more exciting. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit incentive to this latter group of people who are motivated strictly by such inconsistent personal feelings as goodwill and volunteer spirit.
Don't make things for them. They don't help anyone in this world make the world a better place.
Volunteer spirit is such a dope mishmash of two words.
Yeah. The fact is not unrelated to the limitations of existing user-generated content. User-generated content has been brought into being solely because of individuals' desire for self-expression and not because any explicit incentive existed to reward them for their creative efforts. I see this as one reason there haven't been as many major game-changing content that were user-generated as one would expect. So if you think about that specific aspect of this, one, you don't need the blockchain to fucking pay people to make mods for your game. You just don't. And you could have been doing that for a decade or more now just by, hey, if you make something cool for our game, like Roblox has, I mean, Roblox is not the shining example for this because the cut that the creators get sucks shit.
Yeah.
But that already has a system in place where if you make things for Roblox and people use it, you get paid. Like that has existed since like there.com. Second Life had, pockets of this as well. And you do not need any of the fucking blockchain bullshit to make that a reality. Square could just fucking pay people if they make cool mods for games or if they are good volunteer moderators for Final Fantasy XIV or, I read this and just go like, you should just pay your mods. You should just pay the mods that you have for your game. If you're just giving them free access to the game, maybe also give them money if they are good at moderating. Like something like that could be done, perhaps.
Turns out maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Beyond Good and Evil, they might have had the right path for this.
That by the time that comes back around, it's going to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt talking to you about the blockchain. Like you're going to be like, if you make music for Beyond Good and Evil 2, we'll mint it on the blockchain for you, and you get a cut of the sales. Yes. Like that's 100% what that fucking thing's going to pivot into. If it ever comes up ever again, because that game's probably just fucking dead. But so like on its surface, I think the idea of just like, okay, volunteers and people that are making a game a better place. There are aspects of a game that can be impacted that way, whether it is through creating mods, or becoming a moderator for the game and helping people, whether that is like, hey, I'm on the message boards telling people troubleshooting this and I wrote this guide for the game. Like there are all sorts of things that happen around a game that form a community that you could pay people for. You could do that, and that is not the worst idea in the world. Mm-mm. But the idea of play to contribute and that needs to suddenly be on the blockchain, all this other stuff is where all that stuff just falls apart. Yeah. Because if they really wanted to do that, they could have been doing it all this time. Instead, they want to have a headline out there that they are getting into the blockchain, and it is paid off because last night there was a story out of Bloomberg saying that Square stock has jumped 8% since that announcement.
Really?
Shit.
Well, this isn't hurting them then.
So that is the actual story here. That is going to be the argument solver at a lot of other publishers if that stock price sticks. If that actually is seen as a benefit and that is going to help their stuff, that is going to suddenly anyone internally at a company that is saying no, we can't do this. Someone's just going to point at the Square stock price and go, fuck you, we're doing it. And that'll be interesting. All of this still seems like it is, again, just people jumping on board a hot topic in finance that is a way for them to seem more relevant to investors and all this other stuff and to seem like they have an answer to that question. There's nothing in here that is specifically about here's a real world scenario in which we could only do this with the blockchain and we could only do this with unique specific items. But like the dark side of this ends up being it's digital scarcity. It's bringing that type of scarcity, a stock X level of scarcity, to a fucking sword in a video game, or like, hey, I can't get a graphics card. Like, oh, now I can't get the purple Halo Man because, you know,
you didn't buy enough nail polish.
I didn't. Yeah. Well, yeah. Cause I did not get it off the blockchain in time or whatever. And it's just slimy. It's a slimy, shitty tactic. Like the idea of trying to deliberately create digital scarcity rather than just like in ways that you already can, in terms of just like, oh, well, we are only going to sell 500 of these. You can just do that. You could just do it. You don't need to do the other thing.
No,
you don't need to.
Team Fortress handled all this back in the day with the hats, and why are we fucking it up
got my
further?
Fucking vintage Lugamorph somewhere that if I had my inventory set to public, I would still be getting harassment messages from people or people trying to hack my Steam account. So think about that. Honestly, like that is a good look at what is to come.
Yeah.
If this sort of stuff happens in more games, is the idea of like someone constantly trying to hack my Steam account because they want my Sam and Max ears and pistol and all this other shit.
And a whole new world of scams.
Yeah.
You know, on top of just straight up hacking situations, just people socially manipulating people to.
Yeah, it'll be the fucking guy who said, "All my apes gone," but it'll be all my swords gone. You know,
all my apes.
And all my apes gone. Oh no,
my apes.
And then instead of the blockchain doing what it's supposed to do, he complained to the management, and they found a way to make it work. Almost like the blockchain aspect of it is just a fucking scam, and they whatever.
Crazy. I also saw somebody defending this this whole situation with the idea that like, oh, this means that we, you know, instead of doing all this like microtransaction stuff and DLC, it'll now be NFT stuff, and it's like, you fucking adorable idiot. No, this is just going to be in addition to that.
Calling them adorable.
That's fucking precious of you to think that they're just going to replace a line with a different revenue line instead of having 2 or 3 revenue lines.
Yeah.
Insanely precious to naive and adorable that you would think like, oh no, they're just gonna not do this so that we have a better experience. It's like, no, they're gonna do it so that they make more money.
No, they're gonna keep doing all the stuff they're already doing. Yeah, no, this does not change a thing about the existing business models, except that maybe they go if the other ones become more lucrative eventually, maybe they move over to that for everything. But but they'll still get their money one way or the other. So yeah, so it's interesting to see like there's this concept here in other parts of this letter where he talks about making a game self-sustaining, as if like people are just going to trade these items back and forth for more and more money forever, and that's going to somehow just fund the game forever. And you just make more cosmetics and make more content for the game and sell it, and that's how you make it sustainable. Is you make profitable content for the game. It's been largely working. I mean, hey, Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Doing okay.
Doing fine.
Doing okay.
Maybe you should just have that be the focus of your investor call.
But that's not sexy. That's not hype. That's not new. That's not, you know, that just leads to the investor question of just like, well, we're going to replace the board if you aren't taking advantage of this hot new opportunity, because, you know, that is the scam is working its way through so many different people and so many different areas. At the end of the day, this whole thing is just going to end up being one more way that incredibly rich people find ways to get the middle class, whatever is left of it, to put their savings into something that the rich can then come and steal.
Mm-hmm.
Every time
who's like in on the scam thinks they're a temporarily embarrassed billionaire, and it'll be them that is the one taking advantage of the situation. And you know, and
this is the market has the traditional stock market has done this multiple times. Like, it's just like you get too many real people in the market, and then people go like, oh cool, we've got all their retirement money, we've got all their stuff in the market, now it's time to just fucking suck it all up and get back to work, asshole. Like this is just a new version of that. This is just a new version of that.
It's just capitalism 2.0.
It's not even 2.0. It's just fucking 1.0. It's just like a
doing
fucking.
It again, but it's more.
It's capitalism 1.0 with a Guy Fawkes mask on, going like, "Yeah, man, it's anonymous money, man. You could buy dope with it on the internet." And like, no, come on.
It's just the same thing again, but it feels more future and it feels more fake, even though money's fake too, technically.
Right.
But that's the whole premise of NFTs and crypto and bullshit like that is just like, oh, we've all societally agreed that gold means something. And we have it all stored away here.
Well, look, they took us off the gold standard, and this is they ruined it. If you really want to, we fucked that up long ago.
It's that, but
anyway.
even more imaginary somehow.
Yes, I can't. Yeah, there you go.
Wrap it up.
NFT
Oh, Jen, that's good.
Thanks, Veebs. That's all Veebs for sourcing that.
That's just still disgusting. What else is going on? MAME, the multi-arcade machine emulator. It's been around for...
Don't say it. They're not...
Yeah,
They're good?
What's
They're
MAME,
fine? We're
MAME
fine?
do something bad? But nope.
Nobody died there, I don't think.
No, MAME is still doing good. They have their monthly releases. The December release added improved CDI emulation support, which is very exciting to me. As someone who does not want to get his CDI out of the garage, the better that MAME runs CDI games, the better I feel. I hope that they emulate the digital video cartridge soon, because there's a growing number of games that simply do not work without it. Well, not a growing number. No one's making new CDI games.
Yeah,
they are discovering and dumping them.
I wish.
Yeah, God. Anyway, the developers of MAME have been served a cease and desist, demanding that support is removed for two Cave shooters. Cave, the developers of Dodonpachi and some of that other stuff. So this is just an interesting little thing that happened right at the end of the year here. So have you heard of Exa Arcadia? I'm going to venture and say you probably have not.
No.
Have not.
So this is a, what is this? This is a PC platform built for arcades. And it is designed to be kind of like, hey, you buy the game, you plug it into this device, and then your arcade cabinet runs the game. Sort of like a Neo Geo was with the cartridges and all that sort of stuff, or like a Naomi was with, discs and all that sort of stuff. Like a system where you can easily change out the games that are on the cabinet, so that when new games come out, you don't have to go buy a whole new cabinet. You can just buy it is a stick looking thing and plug that in, and you can have 4 of them plugged into this thing at the same time. And so it is a new system sold to arcade operators primarily in Japan. You can just buy one, but like the games are like $1,500 a pop. Because you're meant to be making that money back in quarters or 100 yen coins or whatever, so that they're way more expensive than the typical video game. Anyway, they have, for Exa Arcadia, some new games have been developed, but also a lot of existing games have been ported over to that setup. That is where this comes in. Exa Arcadia has become the rights holder of a lot of Cave shooters. And so they have contacted MAME and say, you need to remove support for Akai Katana and Dodonpachi Saidaijo. I'm probably pronouncing that a little wrong. This is from 2010 and 2012, respectively. And MAME did it, which I was a little, maybe it's there was some hubbub around it, and it sounds like maybe a court case they were just not in the position to fight at the time. And they've kind of said like, hey, we're willing to honor like a reasonable request when it comes in like this. So they've just commented out in the source code. So it seems like if you did want to play those games in MAME, you could compile your own version of it and still do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the wrinkle here is that Exa Arcadia is run by a guy named Eric Chung, who used to go under the name, or still does sometimes go under the name Showtime. And he's been a longtime arcade collector.
Man, I want to start going by Showtime.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah. But SHOU.
Showtime. That's all right too, man.
Yeah. Was running a Tumblr that I was following that was posting all kinds of like, check out these boards I got. But the upshot of that is he was also dumping a ton of ROMs and contributing them to the MAME project. Before Exa Arcadia started up, he was doing a lot of stuff like that, and so that seems kind of shitty to come back around and demand that this get removed from MAME.
Totally,
just because
Showtime.
have acquired the rights to these cave shooters. Also, I don't think these games running in MAME will stop people from playing them at X Arcadia cabinets. So it just seems like a weird. It just seems weird. So I just wanted to point that out because that happened, and it's a strange little situation.
Showtime, you hypocrite.
I know. Gosh.
Bastard.
Well, it's strong language. Anyway, Steam put out its best of 2021 lists. They do this every year, put it kind of a top 100 in a way that's not ordered necessarily 1 to 100. They tier them out and say, like, these are the platinum games. And that means you were in the top 12 of a category.
Oh.
And then
I thought we were talking like Bayonetta and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No, Bayonetta is remaking Dota 2, according to this.
Okay.
One of the platinum games. So let's see here. I put a link in there if any of you want to call it up. They've got a number of different tabs here for, like the best VR games. A lot of this is measured by gross revenue, except they have a most played, which is highest peak concurrent players. And controller friendly, which is interesting because they can measure daily active controller players for a game.
Oh, wow.
Which is a fun stat. And Apex Legends is in that category, which I thought was interesting because I like to play Apex Legends with a controller, but every time I do it on PC, I feel like I'm just getting worked by people that are using a mouse and keyboard. But
yeah, it's the excuse I use all the time too.
Yeah, that's what made sense to me. I don't know. So here are the top 12 sellers, and some of these are free-to-play games, so keep in mind that means, battle passes and all sorts of other shit. The top 12 games sold on Steam this year in no particular order, as I understand it, is New World, which is that Amazon MMO that I feel like the only times it's come up in the news lately was because people found a new item duping hack, but apparently it sold quite well out of the gate. Dota 2, which is a video game, I'm told. Battlefield 2042, Valheim, Naraka Blade Point, which I can't say I expected to see on this list. They've got Bruce Lee's in that game now, which makes me almost want to play it again. Rainbow Six Siege, Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, which is I think has been in this platinum tier every year for a good long time.
Because
it's still
stuck there.
Stuck there.
Some sort of glitch going on where it's just stuck in there. Yeah.
Just someone's
There's
buying shark cards out there.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike Go, Apex Legends, Dead by Daylight, and PUBG. Those are your top 12. I thought it was interesting that none of the games in the platinum tier for VR were actually released in this calendar year. The newest game appears to be...
What about New World?
No. I'm in the VR category now.
Oh, the VR category. Sorry.
Yeah. The newest game in that list appears to be Half-Life Alyx, which came out in March of 2020. Actually, no, that's not quite. There's some other 2020 games in there, but maybe Into the Radius VR might actually be the newest one in there.
What is this VR? I want to meet you. What in your room?
VR Kanojo.
VR girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. That is a porn VR game. You can download an 18 plus patch for it. And
that's fun for the kids and stuff. Yeah.
You can make fuck with an anime lady in that. I have spent some time looking at it.
Controller support in this? Is there?
No, you use you're using you need to you're just grabbing and stuff you need to do.
Take it easy.
That came out in 2018. It's corny as shit. It's fucking silly.
Still has support though. That's good for them.
Glad the community has grown.
Yeah, Super Hot VR is on that list, which is a tremendous game. But I wonder. I'm trying to
game rules.
What do you think it means? I will ask the panel that none of the top VR sellers were released in this calendar year.
It tells me that developing a VR remotely is impossible.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty impossible because you need to have a physical person testing out the VR, like probably in the same room with you, just to make things easier. I don't know. That does seem to the tracks. COVID reasons.
Or it means that development had already been slowing down at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
And, you know.
That's kind of how I was leaning, is like, it just feels like VR development over the last year and change hasn't really been great. Or hasn't really been notable. Like there just hasn't been a ton of stuff. I feel like the Medal of Honor, which came out December 2020, that Respawn game, it seemed like that kind of came and went, and no one really had much to say about it. That is in the gold tier, so it did do okay. But I think the other take on this is probably that there are still a lot of people. Well, there are still plenty of people who buying their first headset, and when it comes time to buy your first headset, you are going to buy the games that are known good. And Boneworks and Half-Life Alyx and Beat Saber and Superhot VR and VR Kanojo are still, and Skyrim VR and Pavlov. Like, those are the things that are largely the standout kind of, not necessarily like must own per se, but like, I think if you ask someone, hey, what's good in VR, or what's going to blow me away in VR, Boneworks is going to come up, Half-Life Alyx is going to come up. So it's probably like people getting their first headset and buying this stuff, combined with like, it just feels like there hasn't been a ton of games that have replaced these games yet.
How do you outdo like Half-Life Alyx and Beat Saber and stuff like that? They're just like, what next? They're so good. They're so solid.
I think a lot of these games are novelties in a way that it's sort of like you alluded to. You just kind of like, you buy the thing, you play the dozen games, and then you're like, this might be it. This might be it. Yeah. I might have seen it all. I paid a lot to get into Disneyland, but now I'm leaving and going home. And that's sort of like, I don't know. I mean, the last game, it's funny that Boneworks is on here just because of how sick it made me, but apparently there's a mode now where you don't get so sick. I mean,
that's funny because like I feel like their whole thing when they first put that out was like, no limits. This is going to be the rawest fucking fucked up thing. Like, this is like, you might get sick from it, and that's what we're making. Fuck you. Like it had it had a chip on its shoulder for a very long time.
They built a rocket ship with no seatbelts, and they were just like, whatever, like, get in, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But
and it's awesome. I mean, Boneworks is fucking crazy. It's rad, but also it is uncompromising. It's largely uncompromising.
Like, you gotta sit the fuck down. I need to sit the fuck down playing that game. Do me a favor. Promise me you will all sit the fuck down when you play Boneworks. But yeah. I mean, I do think a lot of it is that, where it's like there's a lot of these, touching it, experiencing it. I personally don't know a single person who is actively, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna jack in tonight. It's like, no, you did it. You did it that one time, that 1 month. Well, you jacking it has a lot of things. We get
VR
it.
Kanojo is in the platinum tier.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see a boom in, like, I don't know, some indie or some other VR releases with the boom of VR headsets being sold over the holidays.
Yeah, that was the other kind of story, is that it sounds like a ton of Quest 2s moved.
I got one.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, show me the Room VR. I want to fuck with that.
Yeah. Like, that it's good. I love that. That was a really cool game. I didn't finish it though. Whoops. Because it's like annoying to set up to play a VR game. You have to have so much space. You have to be hooked up into all this stuff. If you want to stream it, it's like really annoying to stream stuff. I feel like that the lack of ability, you have to have a lot of chutzpah to decide, like, I'm going to stream a VR game. I think that might not help, because it's like, that's more free advertising basically, and a lot of people are not going to want to go that far to show people that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a whole setup situation.
I think there's a number of different reasons there for all that stuff. At the same time, like, it's when VR is cool, it's incredibly cool. It just feels like I still feel like one of the best experiences I had in VR was Eve Valkyrie, and that was like one of the first things I did. That was like the Oculus Quest launch game, Eve Valkyrie. It was like a awesome cockpit space shooter, and it was rad, and it's probably still rad, but I've done it enough, and there's probably no other humans playing it anymore. that the multiplayer, which was pretty much just a multiplayer game, like it's not viable anymore. So it's like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Maybe I am ready to jack back in.
Yes, I have my Quest 2 here, and I keep
ready.
like waiting for a night for me to get it all unpacked and update the firmware on it, and and all that sort of shit. But
I just saw there's a Talos Principle VR.
Strong with mine.
yeah.
And it's been a family affair. Like we found not just games, but like books. Like there's one written by Neil Gaiman. Wolves in the Walls, which is completely immersive and stuff. And my son just loves it. He's gone through it like 3-4 times already. So yeah, we're still very much in the honeymoon period of VR. We're still having a good time. So this list is beneficial to me because it points out a couple that I was kind of unfamiliar with.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see what I need to see if Oculus has put out any numbers around Quest software, because that's, obviously if they're selling a bunch of Quest headsets, I'm going to guess that the majority of people are not necessarily even realizing like, oh, I can hook this up to a PC and do a whole different tier of VR experience.
Right.
Yeah, they don't really advertise that.
Hey, RE4 VR probably is blowing up, like stuff like that. But
yep. They're very aggressive with their referral system. Like it started off at you both get like $30 or something like that, but they've doubled it since then. Like over the holidays, it's like $60 each. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
I wonder what has to happen, or what sequence events has to go down for VR to be something tied with like exercise and stuff. Because you'll see
Beat Saber's the only one, really.
No,
there's like boxing
there's
games.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's lots of
there's
ads that I've seen on Facebook and shit that are promoting this as like a fucking health, benefit and
like
such.
Ring Fit did gangbusters, right? And
and there are definitely like a number of different apps that have tried to tackle that in different ways, whether it's a rhythm game.
Sure.
Or like a boxing style experience. I think there's one, I just got a press release about it, yet another one that's showing at CES that is a boxing themed thing where, and you can buy I bought it I don't have one for the Quest 2, but when I was using the Quest 1 a little bit more, even just maybe it was just the Rift, it was like a more padded kind of ring around your face that was more conducive to handling sweat in case you were doing those sorts of workout things.
That whole thing.
Yeah, that whole sweat thing. Yuck.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about sweating. What's that like?
I did a couple CESs ago. I did this VR thing where this company was doing like hockey VR with like training, and you can watch the video of it. It's on YouTube. I do this thing for 10 minutes. I take it off, and it looks like I was in a sauna for 20 minutes. And I'm like, here you go. And the guy just grabs it, like pinches it. And he's like, okay, I guess right into the dumpster this fucking $900 headset goes. Like,
shit. It was one E3. Dave Nalaska and I were in line to play the Creed game, or the boxing one. And the two gentlemen that went before us were punching a little too hard. And it was the same deal with the headsets, where Dave and I had waited a while, and then seeing the sweat coming off these two gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
We don't want to. Maybe we'll just
maybe.
We got the free towel. Maybe we'll dip.
That's it.
That's what the towels were for. Yeah.
That was always the problem from the start, was like the sharing of headsets. Like even pre-pandemic. I don't know anyone who's super comfortable with like having this communal headset. Yeah, thanks.
I had that the year that, well, I think it was the swine flu year at PAX, or maybe it was the different year, but
the swine flu year.
It was a year that they were doing welcome swine flu. Welcome to Boston. And they were doing public VR demos at PAX, and then a bunch of people got sick, and it was this realization for me, and I think the conclusion I came to was like, I'm never going to do a VR demo in a public setting ever again. Ever again.
Unbox a brand new one.
Not worth it.
Yeah. I just and yes, now with everything that has happened, and now the world has turned us all into germaphobes.
Maybe that's partially why everything's dried up, like VR wise. It's like you can't demo it at all.
Yeah, like the idea of a store demo or some of that other stuff. Like there was early on, it was like go to Best Buy and put on a Rift and see if you like it and all that sort of stuff. But after that, it was just like, I don't want to. That's disgusting. And you'd watch people clean off the headsets between demos, and they'd be spraying it and wiping this and trying to wipe it all down and do all this and wipe the controllers, and you'd be like, okay, that's something, but like.
That's cute. That's cute.
This still sucks.
Security theater for germs.
You can't wipe.
So yeah, I don't know. It almost seems like you would need to like. How do you? I mean, maybe you build a public demo version of the headset that just takes a big padded ring, and then when everyone checks into the event, you give them their own personal big padded ring, and they put it onto the thing, do the demo, and then take it off and take it with them.
Now you're thinking.
And at the end, you burn all those fucking things.
Someone will still dirty it up.
You brand it, and they'll take them home, and they'll love it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that's the way to go. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for news.
All right.
Well, we take another break here, and we'll come back and check out some emails. How about it?
I'd love it.
Cool.
Great. Fantastic. Truebill. From forgotten free trials to automatic renewals, when big companies keep charging you, Truebill can be your secret weapon to save you money on subscriptions you don't need. How's that work? What is that all about? Truebill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions that you don't need, you don't want, you simply forgot about. You ever just leave something sitting on your bill for like a long time and forget that you even use it? Like I don't commute anymore, but I still have satellite radio. That's too much money. I should probably do something. I should probably do something about that. I think it's about due to renew. Maybe I should. Well, on average, people save up to $720 per year with Truebill. And some companies make subscriptions hard to cancel. So Truebill makes it simple. Just link up your account and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. That's pretty convenient. Around here, we do subscriptions. We try to be cool about it. We try to let people know, hey, this is going to renew soon, so you don't, so there's no surprises. And honestly, we built that because there are so many other services out there that don't do that. And it could be a real hassle. So there's Truebill Concierge, and that concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions so that you don't have to. They've got over 2 million users that have helped save over $100 million, like Matthew B. Matthew B here, who says, this is a quote, in a matter of seconds, this is my assumption of Matthew. In a matter of seconds, I saved $660 for the year on my DirecTV bill, saved $120 for the year on my SiriusXM bill, and saved $840 a year on car insurance. That adds up. That adds up. So if you think that you got like weird drains on your finances that you've completely forgotten about, hey, maybe Truebill's worth a look. Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/bomb. Go right now. Truebill.com/bomb. It could save you thousands a year. Truebill.com/bomb. All right, we're back. I know we take some emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is still the email address. Fuck what you heard.
It's like we're right next to each other, Jan.
In real life, it'd probably be something like,
whoa, back to back. Whoa.
Like the cover of Lethal Weapon. First up here, we've got Leo in London.
I thought you were going to say Danny Glover.
We got Danny Glover, who wrote in to say,
friend of the show.
Riggs, cop killers.
Getting too old for this podcast.
Yeah. Now you're
fellow
talking.
alumni of San Francisco State University.
Yeah. Yes. Leo writes in and says, I've noticed a change in language where esteemed journalists such as yourselves now refer to biomes instead of levels, zones, worlds, environments, etc. When did this change and why? Is it just a language trend or does it reflect a change in game development?
Really recently, right? It all of a sudden popped up.
I don't know why people started like misusing it. Like it was weird. It was weird when some of the Halo reviews started hitting and people were like, "It's all in the same biome." I was like, "That's not."
And that's the first time I've used that word.
I don't think that's but like,
I'm in the
I think
tundra.
biome is very. Yeah, well, I think biome's like a very specific thing that often refers to procedurally generated games. Like we first really started talking about biomes with like Minecraft and Terraria, I feel like. Because the developers would talk about like, oh, we made a new jungle biome and it's going to generate new jungle sometimes. And that's like a very literal use of that term. And I think in the wake of that.
What word did it replace? Are we saying again?
I think sometimes people use it to mean levels. Sometimes they use it to mean environments. All
the lava
stuff.
level,
Like,
the water temple level.
A motif, perhaps.
Sure.
So, but you wouldn't say. So now you would say like the lava biome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I think for some specific games that makes a ton of sense. But I think trying to apply it to games that are not procedurally generated does not make much sense to me.
Okay.
So
I just don't think like
use it that way.
It's probably I'm sure there's a game or two that are to blame. It's probably Minecraft. Let's just blame Minecraft and call it a day.
Usually a safe bet.
I heard somebody blame Returnal. But I'm saying that having not played Returnal, and I'm not sure about the verity of that.
Yes, you're right. People were using the term biome around Returnal a lot instead of levels. I mean, those are literal levels. They have bosses at the end of them. It's level 5 is a desert. It's the desert level. It doesn't need to be a biome per se. But that game is also kind of procedurally generated in a sense. So
right.
Maybe it fits under that way as well. But yes, you're right. People definitely. I'm trying to think of it. I think they use the term biomes in the marketing of it, or if not even in game.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But I haven't played it in a long time, so I don't remember if it's actually literally used in the game or not. But
Grub in the chat says Returnal called it specific levels biomes.
Yeah, that's dumb.
There you go.
So
I think that's dumb.
maybe
Thanks,
caught on from
Returnal.
One more thing that Returnal did that you're like, this should have been better.
Oh Jesus!
I'm sure that game's better now that they built it in a way that doesn't rely on a PlayStation 5 to function.
Yeah.
And also PlayStation 5's function better now, so maybe that problem got solved on both ends. But Jesus, playing that game at launch, what a mess. Tanner writes in and says, I know you touched on the Analogue Pocket, but what games do you feel like you need to have in your collection? If you were I did not buy an Analogue Pocket, but if you were trying to build a handheld collection of, like, let's say, I guess it's just Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance right now, because I don't think their card adapters are out. What do you got?
Yo, okay. You got to get red and blue. You got to get that. And then you got to jump to fire red, leaf green. You got for a GBA, stick on a GBA. You need Mega Man Battle Network 3 Blue because you're a busta. If you went Mega Man Battle Network 3, you get the Zero games.
That's a good call.
Those were tight. Let's see what else. You need a WarioWare in there with the GBA, right?
Yeah.
A Rhythm Heaven as well.
Sure.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
I was just gonna say Rhythm Heaven. Yep.
Super Mario Land, whatever, Wario something. That one for the Game Boy. That shit's tight. Tetris, of course.
I like Kirby's Pinball Land.
Now you're talking.
I like Final Fantasy VI Advance because it's got the fucking sprint shoes built in. You don't have to equip that shit. You just fucking run.
We go.
It's amazing. Why waste the slot on sprint shoes when you
round off the collection with Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 1 and 2 and Sonic Advance 2.
What was the
Ooh.
isometric Tony Hawk game on?
They did Tony Hawk 2. and 3, I think they also did. But yes,
was
Tony Hawk
good.
2 for GBA was incredible.
Yeah.
I think Ninja 5.0 is a great game, but that game got weird rare, and so that game has been way too expensive for way too many years. So I think my
Ninja
actual
5.0?
advice, yeah, Ninja 5.0, I believe it's just called Ninja Cop in
like
Europe.
Ninja Cop. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. It is like a Shinobi, except you have a grappling hook. But it's like side-scrolling arcade-style Shinobi, like you're rescuing people, but you can also kind of just hook onto things, and it's a swing hook, so you kind of connect it and then kind of swing back and forth to get momentum, and then jump to a ledge or just kind of whip around and retract it as you're whipping, so that you land on the platform. And there's a bunch of really fun just movement in that game. But that game is like probably $1,000 by now, or $500 or something. So just don't.
Shit.
So the actual
scarcity, or
yeah, it was, that game has been expensive before recent times. Like that game was pricey back in the day, because they just didn't make a ton of them, I guess. And that's a cool ass game. I always liked Motocross Maniacs for the original Game Boy. That's a fun little one. I mean, there's a couple of different Tetrises you could get.
Get yourself a Tetris.
Just get it.
Treat
Pick up a
yourself.
Tetris.
a couple different flavors.
Go get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for the original Game Boy. It sucks,
Oh,
but
No, Killer Instinct on the Game
It's
Boy is
real
pretty
bad.
tight, though.
yeah. There's Game Boy Color had a version of, I think it's Alpha 1.
Yeah,
For real?
It's kind of neat. It's
I
kind of
had
neat.
that for a little
Shit.
bit.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of really shitty Mortal Kombat games on those particular Game Boy platforms that you could get into. The actual answer is to buy a flash card. I mean, if we really want to have that conversation, like, and then play all the Ninja 5.0 you can. But
Man, this conversation just made me realize how few games I had on Game Boy Color and how I did not have a Game Boy Advance. So I'm just like, duh, Pokemon, duh.
Yo, Advance Wars. We didn't even mention Advance Wars.
That's right.
Advance
Wars.
or the
there's
1 and 2. Yeah.
Get
Awesome.
a couple episodes of SpongeBob on your Game Boy Advance.
Yep. Yeah. Did they put out all of the? Can you get Shrek for a GBA?
Please say yes. Please
That
say
was a
yes.
thing,
Please
right?
say yes.
I feel like I've seen some really low quality encodes of Shrek, but who could
Yeah.
say if it came off of?
Was it the whole movie or was it just clips of the most iconic parts?
How could you
know if
consolidate that into
it
iconic
probably
parts?
couldn't
Yeah.
fit.
Every
the whole
part
thing,
is iconic.
it's 100 minutes of comedy. So
Can we can we get the Pest onto a GBA card? Is there like a way to make that a reality? Like, how do we? The Altamont in the chat is saying flashcards are dumb expensive. They're not compared to how pricey physical Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games.
Exactly.
I feel like if you're already in for an Analogue Pocket and they have not released any kind of jailbreak firmware for it yet that opens it up in a way you want to, that's kind of the path of least resistance these days, I think. I don't know.
Oh man, I would play all these Crash Bandicoot games I've never heard of before.
They're not
Crash
bad.
Bandicoot, the Huge Adventure and Entranced. I have not played
wow,
either.
I forgot
of those. That's what I
about
would play.
that.
Jeez. Yeah, that's
Interesting.
There's a bunch of really bad Nickelodeon games for the Game Boy Color as well.
Oh shit!
good.
Something about the Game Boy Color specifically, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just I just didn't spend a ton of time with Game Boy Color games at that point in my career or whatever. But going back to those games, they look like shit.
It's
A lot of
bad.
them look
Yeah.
real bad. Like I feel like Game Boy games, like old Game Boy games, you kind of give a pass because you're like, it's not even color. It looks crazy. But like in the GBA, like they start to look okay. But that middle ground of Game Boy Color, you're like, this just all looks fucking bad. And I don't know. It's weird.
Oh man, there's a Rocket Power Game Boy Color game that I blamed
gee.
for me not wanting to eat hot wings for a couple of years because the whole impetus of the game was that Otto Rocket was having a bad nightmare because he ate buffalo wings before going to bed.
That'll happen.
Wow.
That's how it happened to me.
I miss my SP, man.
Yeah, it's except for the weird headphone adapter. They were the first console to be bold enough to eliminate the headphone port.
Before it was cool.
Congratulations on their bravery. Let's see. I had one more game I was going to say, but I can't remember what it is now.
Did we mention Metroid? We mentioned Metroid.
The spinning stick game.
Oh,
yeah, Metroid. Yeah, sure. Like a Metroid Fusion, like a Metroid Fusion.
Like, why not?
on.
Yeah. Spinning stick game. Yeah, that shit was tight.
Yeah, yes. That's a hell of a game. If only it was a cool limousine instead of a stick, then you might have something. Next, we've got Jared from Richmond, Virginia. Who says, "Hey, hope everyone is well. I was scrolling through the Reddit popular page today. Always a
Don't
good
do
idea.
that. Don't do that.
Yeah, okay.
And noticed a thread titled, 'What old games need to come back from the dead?' I curiously scrolled through some of the top comments and was a little surprised by a few of the games. And now I wonder what your opinions would be on Reddit's top old games in need of revival. Here are the top 10 comments with some honorable mentions."
Okay.
Okay. Let's see
So we've got a list here. Number 1, Command and Conquer. They should do that.
No opinion.
Who's like? Okay.
Well, really,
because they put out that remaster like last year. Was that last year or the year before? It all runs together. But that remaster was good, and I want to see someone make a fun single-player RTS campaign that is accessible and goofy and all the fun ways that Command and Conquer often would be.
Has Tim Curry in it?
Sure. Yes.
I just want to revive Tim Curry to his former glory.
Yeah.
Let's get him back.
Put Ric Flair in it. He was good in whichever Red Alert or Generals he was in.
And remembers it quite clearly. Yeah.
But yes, yeah, it's definitely like at the front of his mind at all times about how he's going choo something. Yeah. Number 2, Time Splitters.
What?
All right. Okay.
Okay.
There is this like nostalgia for that game in a way that is disproportionate to what I mean. It's just
it's
people
one
like
of these
monkeys.
things. Yeah, people love monkeys. They love to shoot and they love monkeys. I mean, especially these days, people love monkeys. They're all over the internet.
They're back.
Time Splitters, it's the game that continued on the legacy of stuff like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, obviously. But like, I don't think people realize that like maybe it's like shooters have changed. You can't have Time Splitters back. Like they will make a new one. I think they're talked about working on one, but like it will be an online game that you will largely play online. And yes, they will put in split screen support because they have to, but like that's not what most people want to actually do these days in a competitive shooter. And like people have just moved on. Like that's the thing. The reason you like Time Splitters is because you were in college in 2002 or whatever, and so you were in some dorm room high as fuck playing Time Splitters.
And it was the
best. Have that back. It's not going to come back the way you think it is. It's going to be an online game, and you're going to connect to a server and shoot the monkey, and that'll be fun. But it's not the thing that you think it is. When the people talk about they need to, and even this GoldenEye thing that is eventually going to come back, like they'll probably put online support in it, and that'll be fun. But it ain't going to be the thing unless you force it to be that thing, and you're like, well, we're going to play it split screen because that's how I used to play it when I was 22. And you're like, fucking sure, whatever. It's just not. It ain't the thing anymore. Mercenaries is number 3.
Oh,
yeah.
I could do that.
I would like to see shit get blowed up real good in this generation. Let's
Teardown
do
is
it.
the new Mercenaries. That's it.
Oh,
There you
we
go.
go.
Okay.
Get in line.
I already
Mercenaries
have
3
it then.
is just all voxels. Mercenaries 2 was such a disappointment compared to Mercenaries 1 that it's just, Number 4, Legacy of Kain / Soul Reaver.
Yes.
That'll happen.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I will back that. I will back that in a big way.
I only played the
I know
demo.
If Tam were here, he would have some things to say about Soul Reaver as well.
the other skill he will die.
Jumping in and out of his seat.
On top of us, yeah.
So the problem I have with this is, as a Legacy of Kain fan, because it was just kind of like top-down vampire Legend of Zelda, made by Dennis Dyack of all people.
Canaanite.
God damn it.
Yes. Soul Reaver was not what I was looking for the future of Legacy of Kain. It was such a different thing, and it went on to be this hugely beloved thing at the time. And maybe it's more of a cult hit these days because it's just how time works. But like at the time, people fucking loved those Soul Reaver games, and I was like, "That's cool and all, but what about Legacy of Kain? What if they made another? What if I want a dude shouting fucking Free Victus and fucking sucking blood out of dudes?" From a top-down perspective, like that was a cool-ass game, and so Soul Reaver always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Number 5, Silent Hill. No one would want
Boom shakalaka! Finally.
Who would want this?
Nobody. Nah.
I mean, I think if look, this Reddit thread that comes up because of those not only but probably primarily because of those new Resident Evil remakes, right?
The movie?
Sure.
Yeah, everyone is mad jealous.
People being like, "Yo, look what they could do! Look what they could do to a game again!"
Is so jealous of the Resident Evil stuff. Capcom is treating their fans good. Silent Hill fans are getting fucked over, and
that's a
Konami
cute
do
little
not
pyramid head person.
My friend made this for me in freshman year of college, and I still have him.
Neat.
He's so
That's
cute.
very cool. I would be into a Silent Hill thing,
we're all so salty and so jealous that Capcom is taking care of their IP, and Konami is just like, Silent Hill, I don't know her. Here's a skateboard. Do you guys want a skateboard with Silent Hill shit on it?
I want a skateboard.
Here you go.
God, I mean, if we could put out
$400 or something.
Just put out the Metal Gear skateboarding demo with Solid Snake on a skateboard and make it a Silent Hill skateboard, and that's all of the IPs. Like, and then make the Contra music play, and then I don't know, there's a vampire, and then like it's everything.
It's like Konami did like all this new merch for Silent Hill recently, including the skateboard and including a throw pillow that you can get from fucking Redbubble. But then they like sent a friggin' like press release that was like, hey, guess what? Our Silent Hill merch was the fastest selling merch ever. Thank you. And we're just like, just can we have another video game, please?
You don't want Konami to make a video game in this day.
I don't.
The best thing you can do is hope that they somehow let go of it and sell it.
They're not going to. They're never going to let this
that's
IP
your
go.
Best, but sure, but that's your best.
Someone
Or their fortunes change to such a degree that they're forced to like drag themselves back into the video game business, and they're like, all right, I guess we have to figure this out. But like, they're just not the company that
they'll just poop out another like book of memories for the Vita sort of situation where it's like nobody wanted this. What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah. Like by the time they get, if they do eventually get back around to making a new Silent Hill, like it's not going to be because it's not the people you want to make it. It's not the Konami you want to make it. It's like all that stuff. They put out a Contra on mobile recently, and it's like a free-to-play Contra game that they had like I think a Terminator tie-in and a bunch of other weird shit that you're like, okay, I guess. And it's like you look at it and go, this like resembles like parts of this smell like Contra, but no one fucking wants this. There's a Castlevania on Apple Arcade that's like, it's not bad, but it's not the thing you want, and they're just not gonna make that. That's just not. I don't think the business is there even for that.
There'd have to be some sort of crazy situation where they're willing to sell the IP to somebody else to get like a good Silent Hill game, let alone any sort of Silent Hill game. So
well, if we went to
that'll eventually happen, right? I mean, those rumors are sticking enough at this point that someone is going to eventually do that, and then Bloober Team presents.
Better not be Bloober. Anyway,
number 6, Turok.
Anyway.
Okay.
It's just that
I'll shoot a dinosaur with a...
Bryn is right. Just transfer all your Silent Hill stuff over into Slitterhead and hope for the best.
I know. That's what I'm basically doing.
Yeah. Or play that Bomberman game they put out, because I think they put Pyramid Head into that.
There you go.
So,
yeah, he's in there. He's in like their track and field games, Yeah.
Where he belongs. Turok, I don't know. The thing about Turok... This is not a hot take. The thing about Turok is that Turok was never good. The thing about Turok is that Turok was on the N64, and the people that bought that console thought that game was awesome because they didn't play fucking shooters on a proper computer at the time. The same way GoldenEye was popular and all that other stuff.
And also, they were 12, and dinosaurs were the coolest fucking shit in the world in
Excuse
1998.
me. They're still the
9
coolest thing in the world.
They are.
Dinosaurs
but dinosaurs
are
had a
alright.
huge. The PR for dinosaurs were off the fucking charts in the 90s.
do no wrong.
The 90s were
They
all
do
about
no wrong.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And Cadillacs as well.
Saucers.
But
Dude, dinosaurs and
back 'cause
Cadillacs rules.
Yeah.
That game fucking. I discovered that in
cool-ass
my
game.
name. It's a cool ass fucking game.
Yeah. Night Dive did remasters of Turok for PC. I think it was Night Dive. It's on Steam. It sucks. It's not, it's fucking Turok. And you're like, oh, removed from the novelty of the N64 controller and the confines of the limitations of the N64 as a platform, Turok doesn't matter. It barely ever did. It's a game that got 9s when they were reviewed back then because taken against other N64 games, you were like, wow, this is gorgeous. Iguana did amazing work. Look at these textures. Look at these levels. They're huge. The shooting works. The weapons are fun and crazy. The cerebral bore is a ridiculous gun. And
many
like all this other
biomes.
shit. Yeah, all these biomes, all these dinosaurs. But like taken in the context of the fullness of gaming, it just doesn't fucking matter. These people, these Reddit people are fucking morons.
I mean,
Number 7.
put a
That's
bow
not
on
a
that
hot
one.
take
Earthworm
either.
Jim.
No.
Need I fucking say more? They're like,
No,
they need to make a new Earthworm Jim. No, they fucking don't.
No,
Guess
they
what?
don't.
No.
Those games are awful to play. Like,
They're awful.
Play
They're
that,
fucking terrible.
bring that thing up, play it as an adult, and try to figure out what you're allowed to fucking land on. I dare you to guess right.
Bounce on these fucking
Terrible.
tires. Launch the fucking cow. Get to
I
level
was
2
shocked
and go.
when I
"Oh, you just need
finally
more."
when I finally played this game, because I did not grow up with this game, and I was like, oh, this is a big deal, everyone talks about it so fondly. I finally played it when I was like 25 or something, and I was like, is this the wrong version of this? Because none of the collision is right. Is this like a hacked Russian version of this or something?
It was a different
it's
time.
a broken platformer.
Well, like it was a time when platformers were hot, right? So like the frames of animation on Earthworm Jim himself are enough to blind a certain category of
Yes.
people, and myself included. Like
Yes.
like when that game came out on the Genesis, like this is incredible. Look at the animation of all this. It plays
Gorgeous
like shit.
game. It's a gorgeous game. Absolutely cool style. Doug Tenapel, big asshole, knows how to draw, but it plays like absolute fucking trash. Total garbage.
Yeah.
So if they did remake it so that you actually could play like a video game, sure, I'm down with that. Go ahead. I don't
They
care.
made multiple sequels and they did Earthworm Jim 3D and a bunch of other shit. Like it's just not.
There's a 3D one? What?
I think there's like a.
He was the whole pitch. The character of Earthworm Jim himself.
Yeah, that's it.
Like you said,
Yeah.
was enough fun to look at.
That's it. Bubsy, same deal. Earthworm Jim and Bubsy are pretty much the same thing.
They're almost the same guy, yeah.
They're at
This
the
was an
bar
N64
right now
game.
together.
Yeah.
They
Along
are
with Arrow the
sitting at the
Acrobat. Only
bar.
like Arrow the Acrobat as a game, I think, holds up
And-
better than both those other things.
It does.
And Blinks.
Yeah.
They're there with Blinks.
Yeah.
And
Blinks is
Dr.
buying the
Muto.
next round.
Yes.
Dr. Muto, yes.
Dr.
And then the
Muto.
Funleashed duo.
Ton Buzz there.
Rocketeer.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Number 8, Band of Brothers. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's not.
Is that necessary?
No, I don't
No.
necessarily. I don't necessarily think so, but they'll
I'm not
probably
gonna
do
stop
that
them,
eventually.
but fucking
Probably
why?
do that eventually. Yeah.
Whatever.
Number 9, SSX.
Okay.
I agree with this
Yeah,
that there should probably be
yeah.
a new SSX. I don't like
Sure.
those games much, but they should do that.
Sure, man.
I think
Well, cool.
Tricky was like one of the only games still to this date that I could reliably play and still get tingles through my body because of like the ballet of
It was the last time
know,
you felt anything ever.
True, like there were certain things about that game that caused my brain to fire off all these super pleasing
Yeah.
dopamine, reactions. Plus that like it just all worked. It was
Is it because of the announcer that goes tricky?
yeah, I mean it was like a smorgasbord, right? Of like all the things you want, like to feel good about. And they were all happening all the time. The game was never like, let's take it easy for a second. No, it was just nonstop. And I want that feeling again. And I've been chasing it for 20 years. So do another SSX, please. What was the last one? Like Xbox
it was the one that was just called
360?
SSX. It was like it was that 360 game that had all the connected global mountain stuff.
Yeah,
that was a neat game that
they're
didn't
good.
stick around.
It's wild that you had a button that just made you go fast when you were on a rail.
You got boost power.
Just like real snowboarding. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly like real.
Everyone carries a button.
Yeah.
You're just like, I go fast now.
I was at
raking.
I was at a fucking wedding and they played the song "Tricky" and I was like, "Whoa!"
That's okay.
And they also played some Goldfinger and stuff from Tony Hawk, and I was like, "Who's this DJ?" They're so good. Oh my god! Like they're playing all these incredible things that were.
DJ Atomica is just like,
oh, it's so good. It's like the bride has no idea what these are from. It's great.
Number 10, Army Men.
No,
that's the wrong answer.
They've tried so hard in the past.
I have like
they're out of chances.
This list has told me with laser precision exactly the demographic that uses Reddit and comments on Reddit. Like the kind of kid that liked that game growing up and was just like, they better make more of these.
I don't. Yeah, the Army Men games, even the offshoots like Sarge's Heroes and whatever the one with the lady was. The only Army Men offshoot that I will give any credit to is, of course, Army Men Air Attack, which is basically like a modernization of like the EA like Jungle Strike, Desert Strike series of helicopter games, and also
like the top down. Or isometric,
kind of isometric, kind of like Army Men Air Attack is a lot is kind of in that vein, and also when you pick the Chinook, it goes Chinook, and that was pretty good.
Oh, well then. Honorable
mentions include Wing Commander, Dino Crisis, and Siphon Filter.
Nope. And no.
I mean, look.
Only good one on this list is Silent Hill, and that is incredibly debatable. I know this.
Wait, what was
a Silent Hill fan.
Siphon Filter and what?
Filter. Wing Commander and Dino Crisis.
Yeah. Okay, Dino Crisis.
I mean, why don't you, if you want a new Wing Commander, why not get
fucking
Wing Commander Star Citizen, right?
That's
These plebs did not put Gex anywhere on this list.
But
they put Earthworm Jim on the list.
We joke, but it's funny because all these games seem to hover around the same like age demographic.
Yeah.
Gex
where is Gex?
There.
Yeah.
I have a question.
When Gex is not on screen, I want people to be asking, where is Gex?
Where is Gex?
I have a question. If we could just go around the room real quick. I feel like everyone has their sort of like home base go-to answer for this question. Obviously, Jess is Silent Hill. I think I've spoken enough tangentially about Beautiful Joe, where I'm just like, just give me one more of those. Like, just give me one more.
That'd be all right. I would play with that.
What about the rest of you three?
Sly Cooper.
Okay. Yeah.
Fighters history.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably Smash TV.
Right. Okay. There you have it. Interesting. Surprised about Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper, I feel like after the third one, I was just sort of like, all right, I'm done here.
Specifically the first one.
I've snuck enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've snucked enough.
I've snucked enough.
I like the little turtle friend. He was a good dude.
There's no name on this one. Maybe it's Evan. I don't know. After hearing the question on the last show, okay. Anyway, this is a question about AEW game hair. Which wrestler's hair is going to get that Triple H hair attention? Whose hair is going to be the benchmark going forward? If you're not aware, you can judge a lot about video game technology and where we are as a culture by the quality of Triple H's hair in whatever year's WWE game is out.
It's the standard. It's the international standard of quality.
And I think that is, it's Triple H's hair. It's the wheels in a Forza game. How round are they? And in a world where there isn't a WWE game this year, there was not one last year. There presumably will be one this year. Do you think that AEW has a contender for the type of wrestler hair that we could use to judge this going forward.
I think there are two choices. I'm going to do this quick because the garage door is opening. Jungle Boy.
Oh.
And Kenny Omega. There we go.
I feel like Kenny Omega's hair would be a good challenge because of the slight curls in it.
Yeah. Curly hair is really hard to do in a video game, it turns out.
Yeah.
Not enough tress effects can handle it.
Yeah, Jungle Boy's is a little curly too.
Yeah,
but you also, there's that kind of like, you know, Hangman's got that wet look a lot of the time that can be also difficult to duplicate. But I think Triple H's hair will probably always continue to be the standard because I think they'll, you know, they're not gonna stop making those, and presumably they will continue to put Triple H in them, even though he is not necessarily an active competitor.
Evil Uno's mask, getting the right sheen on it, you know?
Yeah, you need a good shader on that. You need that. You want that texture to look just right.
I saw a tweet from him saying that he wanted to get rid of the vest this year.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
I wish him the best of luck on his quest. That's
Is he gonna go full singlet? Let's go full singlet.
I would love to start doing this podcast shirtless, but I'm not gonna.
I want to do a singlet, and then like halfway through the podcast, you just pull down the sides.
Yeah.
Flex a little bit. Just absolutely. I'm
gonna start wearing singlet. Oh man, yeah.
Please do. Please
start
do.
Wearing singlet.
You should start wearing a singlet, but only for the podcast.
Oh, for Game of the Year. Oh,
and then when you're fucking ready, you're hyped up. You're just like pulling it down. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Hook's hair going to be the new bar? I feel like emulating Hook's hair both at the start of a match and at the end of a match will be very tricky. Whoa. Very tricky. So
kid's got a good suplex.
Yeah.
God damn,
he does. Let's see. We got one quick one. Well, this maybe isn't quick, but someone sent in a quiz for us to take.
Love those.
Nick sent this in and said, with the renaming and subsequent release of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, formerly Quarantine, it really brought to mind how interchangeable the titles are from certain creators. On that note, I present Guess That Series, Clancy, Bond, or AC/DC.
Oh, sick.
So here's a list of 12 titles, and after you hear them, you need to guess. Is this a novel in the Tom Clancy Extended Universe, a novel in the James Bond Extended Universe, or a song in the AC/DC catalog?
Oh my God, that's hard.
I don't fucking know.
I didn't know they had books.
Let's go.
All right. Here's our first one. High Time to Kill.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think that's Bond.
That seems like a Bond.
Clancy.
That is a Bond.
Okay.
Fuck.
High Wire.
AC/DC?
Yep, I'll go with the AC/DC.
Yep.
Yeah, AC/DC.
Sure.
Clancy.
Of course.
But yeah, I could say Rising Power.
God damn
now we're just fucking come on.
Clancy.
Rising Power? I'll say
Rising
AC/DC.
Power.
I'll say AC/DC.
That is AC/DC.
Okay, sure. I guess that one right. Yeah.
Red Nemesis.
Tom Clancy.
Clancy.
Bond.
Clancy?
Oh.
Bond?
I'm getting everyone wrong.
Curveball.
Icebreaker.
Bond.
It's Bond.
Yeah.
AC/DC.
I'll say Bond.
That is Bond.
Hey, there you go, Jess.
One. Oh, I got one.
Wild Card.
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Sure, yeah.
Clancy.
Frick!
These
Nobody
are so...
listen to me.
Breaking Point.
Clancy.
It feels like a
Clancy.
Clancy.
AC/DC.
That's a Clancy.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Black Ice.
That feels like AC/DC because Black Ice doesn't make sense. Like, would that trip up Bond? No. Is that some sort of
that's a technical term?
industrial?
Well, it's
military
it's
complex?
cyberpunk. Like Black Ice is used in a lot of cyberpunk fiction.
Yeah.
And like, what if it's a
Okay,
weapon
all right.
name?
I'll
walk
say
it back.
Clancy. I'm going to say Clancy.
I'm gonna say
I'll go with you,
AC/DC.
Jason. I'll go with you, Jason.
It's AC/DC.
Yeah.
Steered me the wrong way.
Sorry, Gerstmann's like, yo, you sure you want to rethink that?
Shoot to Kill.
All
AC/DC.
three.
AC/DC, I think. All three.
That's Bond.
What?
Okay.
They have a song called Shoot to Kill. What? Oh, fuck.
Do they?
I thought that
I
was
think so.
License to Kill.
Shoot to
There's
Kill.
Are you
multiple-
sure you're not
to
thinking
Kill?
of Shoot to Kill Records? The home
No.
of Dirt Nasty,
No.
the former home
Shoot
of...
Damn it.
Thrill. That song, Shoot the Thrill.
Oh, shit.
Very good, though. Jason.
Meltdown.
Clancy.
Meltdown.
Shoot to Thrill. You're right.
AC/DC.
Yeah, I'm going to go with AC/DC too.
AC/DC. Why not?
AC/DC.
What?
Yeah.
Suckers.
We're in a groove now.
Dead or Alive.
Bond.
Come on, Bond.
All of them.
AC/DC.
Techno. AC/DC.
Clancy.
Clan.
Okay.
This last one better
And-
be all three. I'm going to be pissed.
Last one. First Blood.
Clancy.
Bond.
Bond.
Bond. Bond.
AC/DC.
God damn it.
From the album Fly on the Wall.
Oh, AC/DC. That's funny.
Anonymous emailer. What the fuck? That was really hard.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, how'd you
Nick from
figure that
Whitby,
out?
Ontario, Canada sent that in. Thank you,
That was a
Nick.
good quiz.
That's
Thought
pretty
that was
good.
on my bed.
Yeah, that's
Nick, that was rude.
that's disturbing. That's disturbing on how well all of those kind of work for all three of those. I think it says a lot
Yep.
about AC/DC's style.
I think I got the least points of all of it, everybody. Someone
Well,
tally it up. I think I lost the most.
I'm not sure that the points matter, but
It
whatever.
mattered
I've been
to
told
me.
they don't. I've been told
Okay.
they don't.
Yeah, well,
Mattered to me.
next week they will. That's gonna do it for us here. I'm gonna go look at this Xbox branded nail polish that will get you a cool purple Master Chief. Apparently, you can't buy it until
Cool.
February 1st, though. So I guess I've got some time to wait there. But am I gonna buy nail polish to
Why not?
I hope
get
you
a purple
do.
Halo, man?
I hope you do.
Why not?
Sure.
Go for it.
It's a really.
You've got children. You've got a
I
wife.
think
They can all wear
I think
that
it's
shit.
more about unpacking that whole marketing thing.
We'll do it.
Like-
We'll do a extra stream of you applying it and see how
Sure.
nice you do
Sure.
it.
You should wear it. Yeah.
Yeah, this just hit this morning. I guess
Let's
it is a
each
collection
buy
of
one
12
color.
different colors.
Let's each buy
That
one
are all
color and then
named
stream
after-
us doing it.
Yeah. They have names such as You Had Me at Halo
Wow.
and Racing for Pinks and Achievement Unlocked.
Ooh.
Is that green?
Wait, now
That's
now I'm
lilac.
actually gonna buy this
It
shit.
is.
Wait,
One.
this is
Yeah, here's
this
our
is
new
nice.
quiz. Quest for Quartz. That's a
Yeah.
shimmery rose quartz.
Oh.
These are nice.
Yeah.
I don't
This
know.
is such a
That's-
okay. I guess you can make more doing individual nail polishes than like a palette.
Yeah, I guess they're going to do controllers that are color matched to the palettes as well. That's cool. That's a very
Sure, yeah.
standard,
Oh,
you know,
this is
like in a
cute.
Yeah.
world where Halo just partners with fucking Mountain Dew and
Yeah,
energy
new.
drinks forever. It's kind of awesome to see something a little more. Oh, is that a custom one? You get a little.
That's a custom one. This is
Yeah.
my Christmas present. Yeah.
Nice.
Little,
What brand is this again?
OPI.
This is
Apparently
OPI.
they're good.
OPI? I don't know.
OPI.
Opie.
Apparently it's the good stuff, according to chat.
All right.
Dang.
Okay. All right. Good to
$13 a
know.
bottle. I don't know if that's. I don't
Damn.
know what that.
I don't know
But
how
you
long
get the
that
purple.
lasts.
You get a purple Halo man for it. So I feel like I should probably get it. I need to play more Halo. They just started that the event back up, the whole Fiesta thing and that other thing. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us here. Everybody have a fantastic week.
You too.
Yeah, I will endeavor to have a fantastic
Give it a shot.
week.
Give it a shot.
for once.
So
I'll see what I can do.
That's all I ask.
No guarantees. No guarantees.
New year, new week, new you.
Yeah.
New year.
Yeah.
At least the
New
new
nail
week.
polish. Well, no. Not, anyway. That's
And
good for
yes,
us.
chat,
See you next week.
Goatee is happening. Don't worry. We're doing Goatee. Everyone calm down.
Settle-
Goatee's
settle
happening.
down.
Oh, game of the yes, game of the year. Yes, we're
Settle-
doing game of the year.
settle
It's
down.
true.
Settle down.
We'll do it later this
It's
month.
Settle down.
Yeah. We'll see you
okay.
next week. Bye.
Bye.